And I apologize. Oh, good. Hold on. Just gotta make sure that I. Should be okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I apologize for the delay here. I apologize for the internet dropping. It's that time of the day. It does happen in the middle of the day here in Australia. I do apologize, at least for myself. But we did not disconnect from the game. Just don't worry about it. It has been progressing quite heavily here. We did see, of course, Xingming rush into Sky Toss after Eric did go for a Roach Rush opener. Eric did just break the third base location. The Sky Toss has since been revealed, and we're going into a Spire Tank. We're getting into Corruptors, into all things anti-Sky Toss, and again, I'm just trying to gather my bearings here. Again, I apologize for the stream going down. I apologize that we missed out on 5 or so minutes of the game. But we are back. We have since returned. Oh, and we can get into the swing of things. So again, Xingming did end up losing an entire mineral line. You can see here 19 probes did go down. He did lose his third. The third did fall earlier. So he doesn't have the best economy, but how many carriers do we have? We have 6 carriers and 2 Voidays. We have survived until Sky Toss. Storm is on the way. Xingming is moving out. Eric back at home, still building up his Corruptor. Still working on +1 air attack. We have a Hive on the way for Spellcasters, Vipers, Infestors, you name it. They are going to be on the way here for our Zerg. And again, Xingming is likewise moving out. I'm just making sure that we're connected everywhere. Making sure that things are stable. Things are looking good. Beautiful. There we go. Cool. As the carriers are making their way towards that third. At the same time, we do have a Roach counterattack here. Gonna be trying to chip away at that natural base. Oh, Corruptors are being called out. 2 of them do go down. But we dive on the carriers and we do get 1. The recall 1 second too late. 1 carrier will fall. Slowbro, the first to be there. Of course he is. As the Roaches are getting picked off, they did distract the army and they did break into the main, but they didn't get much more damage than that. And here we go, Eric looking to try to pull Xingming apart. Far ahead here in the supply after killing that third base. We do have Storm though, bear that in mind. Storms, that can be enough to zone away the army. Oh, there we go. Storm does force back the Corruptors. We do have to respect that. At the same time, Lynx, they try to bust into the natural. Alas, they are forced back. Again, another big storm here on the Lings. We have plenty more storms where that came from. Behind this, Ultra Cavern Vipers as well. Eric joining up to 87. Oh my god. Joining up to full saturation here. Again, may have had an aggressive opener, but is looking to snowball out of control here in the late game. Corruptors, Vipers, we have Adrenal Glands on the way. Bailey Nests as well to help out. From here, Eric, he's just going to be looking to not just stabilize, but also snowball out of control with those Ultras. He is now soon to be maxing. With Ultras specifically, the goal there is to kind of close the distance to get on top of these High Templar, to soak some of the storms, to break them, and once High Templar go down, then the Corruptors can go ham on the rest of this army. We're still just focusing on carrier production. Lings don't quite make it in. Not yet. Oh, but that's still more stack defense, more cannons, more shield batteries. The longer this goes on, the stronger this position becomes. Even throwing out some gateways, just, yeah, shoring up the stack defense. Making sure we have good enough SimCity here to deal with the ground army. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. Ultras are going to be pushing on forward. Kindness plating isn't done, by the way. The Ultras are melting. They try to come in from behind. They get on top of the High Templar. We do have a big power bomb, but the storms! Oh my god! Massive storms on the army. Everything's going to be burning down. It looks like we do have enough Corruptors. We soak the storms. We soak the damage. GG gets called, and Eric will take game 1. GG, well played. Eric just soaking the storms to the face, forcing friendly fire. He also had a power bomb on the carriers, so he was able to do more damage that way as well. Oh. And I do need a moment, actually. I do have to relog. I'll try to message the players, make sure they hold me. Well, they hold me. Do have to quickly relog. Hopefully they don't start without me. Ah. But yeah, Eric will take that first game. Things were looking a little bit dicey, especially with the defensive setup here of his opponent. But I don't know if you saw, there was one Ultra that did kind of rotate around, come in from behind, got on top of those High Templar, and actually went to town. Actually cleaned most, if not all of them up. So yeah, pretty intense moment there. Pretty intense moment for Eric. He had a bank behind it, to be fair. Like, he of course could afford to rebuild, but he couldn't afford to lose everything though. So there was still quite a lot on the line. Oh, as I may have to quickly go to a break here. StarCraft is refusing to open. Refusing, papi. Hold on. We should be able to come back in. Again, I do apologize for the stream going down earlier, for disconnecting. Do apologize for that. And hopefully that's the only time it happens this stream. Again, for those that are curious, for whatever reason here at midday, for my instance specifically, it's the most unstable. So we do often, whether it's Tenacious Turtle Tussle or ESL Cup Americas, basically NA friendly events for us. Sometimes the stream does struggle. We're back in. We're back in. It's all good. Whew. And we're getting into game number 2. Good. Getting ready for game 2. Of course, this is best of 3. Eric going to be leading it 1-0. And game 2 is going to be taking place on Hecate. And this time we'll be able to cast it from start to finish. Ah, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. But thank you for those that did stick around. After the disconnect. Do appreciate it. We're still not on TL. Unfortunately. Just trying to fix things up. Trying to get things going again. Oh. And here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Hecate. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the red Protoss representing JSLS. It is Xing Ming. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Zerg player going for the 15 hatch opener once again, representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. It is Eric. Here we go. Hatchery is on the way. Should be a 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool, as we saw in the last game. It is Eric's go-to opener in ZVP. It is what we expect to see. But where does he go from here? Oh. Hello, Mr. Totoga. Hello. But where do we go from here? Yeah, Eric, he did go for an earlier Roach point in the previous game. The Roaches didn't actually achieve too much. They applied some pressure, but Eric wasn't able to be too aggressive, which is why Xing Ming was able to get away with that Sky Toss army. Eric eventually punched the third, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to achieve that here on Hecate. This is a more macro-oriented map, a bit of a longer rush distance. Bases are a lot more secure as well compared to Side Delta. So I'm sure Eric is going to have a very different approach coming into this. As the probe is trying to be as vigilant as possible. There it is. Gas is now being taken. Spawning pool is done. Queens are on the way. And so far, everything's looking normal from Eric. Like nothing really should be striking Xingming as odd. Outside of the 15-15, I'm sure taking note that unlike Eon in the previous series, we aren't going for a gasless opener. And once again, there's that Roach Horn. This is the same opener that Eric went for in that previous game. I know that the stream went down, so I don't know how much of the beginning of the game was caught, but alas, same opener so far. Likewise, Xingming going for a Stargate opener back at home. Now, it's going to be on this Adept to try to scout and figure out what's been going on. Try to get a read on the situation. As the Adept is getting across the map. And Queens are moving out to meet it, actually preemptively even. Oh my god. And we're going for a Queen Walk. Let's go on Hecate of all maps. Okay. Queen's are going to be waddling across the map. Lings and Roaches on the way. Adept is going to confirm some saturation here, but should also confirm the Lings and Roaches as they pop out. So big scout for Xingming. Adept is going to fall, but the Roaches have been revealed, and now he knows what's going on. There it is. 2 shield batteries are on the way. Second pylon as well to fully wall off. Xingming knows what's coming, but just because he knows doesn't mean he can hold. Void Ray on the way. That's going to be a big moment here for Xingming, for our Protoss. We do have some anti-air in these 2 Queens, but no transfuse, no creep. Very limited anti-air. Cybercore is taking a lot of hits. Can we keep it alive? Shield battery is doing the best they can. Roaches are on the way. Void Ray will pop up. And there's the overcharge. We do keep the Cybercore alive. We do add quite a bit of DPS to that Void Ray. Baal's going to be connecting. Can we deny Warp Gate? 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. It's so close, and it will finish just in time. Warp Gate kicking in here on these gateways. We can warp an extra wave of units, and that may just be too much. It's going to be close. The boys are being pulled. Pylons are being focused down, and can we depower? We can for a moment. Probes being focused down. We do get the last pylon. We will depower everything. But now there are 2 Void Rays. Vials on the back. Ooh, a bit of friendly fire. Eric does bust into the main, killing 6 probes. We're looking for more. The DPS of Void Rays isn't the highest, as we do manage to drag them into the main base at the same time. The Roaches, or the Ravager, the one Ravager, going ham in the natural. Another Void Ray on the way. We're forcing out some Queens. We're focusing down even more probes. And again, the question becomes, is this enough? Because back at home, Eric, he's droning. He's got 2 Queens, soon to be 4. He has to protect these Overlords, has to race them back home. As we get another probe. But Jesus, we're up to 3. We're soon to have 4 Void Rays. That's quite a lot. Especially with these fresh Queens. Like, these Queens are spreading creep. They don't have energy for transfuse. Spores are necessary. We need spores as an anchor point for the army. And there we go. Void Rays are moving out. We have seen 3, 4 Void Rays like just end the game on their own. They can just overwhelm and overpower a small amount of Queens. This is concerning. We have 1 Void Ray making its way towards the main. We have 2 making their way towards the natural. Overlords are being pulled back. There's still 1 Overlord out of the map. You can see Xingming, he's looking for Overlords. Lair on the way on 2 bases. Xingming taking a 3rd base behind this. Making its way towards the main. Queens are in position again. No transfuse. We do manage to force this back. Xingming not overextending. Oof. Getting a couple of hits in, no third base yet, but there we go, it's now on the way. Likewise, Lings are going for a counterattack. Ling speed about to kick in. I don't know if we can actually save this third. Void Rays, they spot some of the roaches, but they go for the hatchery, and they're going to force a cancel. Up! Oh, just barely in time. Hatchery's going to be cancelled. Ling's going to cross map, but we have Stalkers in position. We get one. We managed to barely get one Stalker in the end. Shield battery is done. Behind this, we're droning. We're making more queens. We're trying to distract the army here. And we're getting into Blink Stalkers. Not Sky Toss this time. Forge on the way for +1. Xingming getting into a ground army. Oh, Eric is going Ling Hydra. This could work, actually. Part of me thinks that he may believe it's going to be a Sky Toss transition, but seeing these Stalkers should be a bit of a tell. Did you see the Twilight Council? He did. Or he saw it researching. So he is aware of what's going on. So Ling Hydra is not going to be a bad composition for Eric. Can do quite well against Stalker heavy compositions. Stalkers with Void Rays, Ling Hydra is what you want. Here comes the Overseer Scout to get confirmation on the follow-up. Void Rays will hunt this down, but we do get eyes on the Forge upgrading. The Forge researching. Oracle slipping behind the mineral line, getting into that. Getting into those workers. Getting one drone in the main. Only one. From here, Eric, he is stabilizing in a way. He has decent saturation. He has an equivalent worker count to his opponent, so Xingming has the better economy. And Eric needs time. He needs time to build up his Hydras, to build up his Lings. Stalkers, they have arrived, and they're not giving him that. They're not giving him that time. A lot of this defense is going to come down to the transfuse. We need to keep these queens alive. So far, so good. Transfuses are clutch. We do focus on one of the Void Rays. And we're going to get another, but the Hydras is going down. Oh my god, they're just so fragile. Jesus, 6 Hydras just fell. We need Lings. Hatchery taking a lot of hits. Oh, we're going to focus it down. And we cannot transfuse. A big blow here for Eric, losing that third base. He does force back the army, but his economy is hindered. Queens. 2 queens go down as well. A high energy queen as well on top of that. Eric gonna try to force this back. Now there is a road to recovery here as Eric does force back the Stalkers. Trying to get on top of that pylon. But a Lurker Den is on the way. And we're taking up into Hive Tech. We're teching very quickly. We don't really have the best economy, but if Eric is able to stabilize here with like 4 or 5 Lurkers, he should be able to turtle up on 4 bases. The 4th is going to be a pretty pivotal moment, whether or not Eric can actually saturate it. But Eric is going to have to try to turtle, and he's going to give Xingming a lot of map control, a lot of room to breathe. Our Protoss player should be taking a 4th. We should take a 4th, maybe even double expand. Tech up, we could go into Sky Toss from here. We have a Robo on the way, not a Fleet Beacon though, so he's committed to Ground Toss for now. It's looking like potentially Colossus. And there it is. There's the second Robo and the Bay. Colossus eventually Disruptors. Ooh, big scouts! Oh my god, Lurkers have been revealed, and now is the moment! Yeah, Xingming, we gotta go. Eric, he is so vulnerable at the moment. The Protoss doesn't pull the trigger. There's barely anything here. Ling's going for a big counterattack. Trying to distract these Stalkers. The last the Lurkers, they finish! Just in time. And now the 4th is on the way. Eric, has he done it? Has he survived? Can he stabilize? We're getting there. It's going to be on Eric to rotate and keep up with these Stalkers. Creep is receding. What's important as well, because the Lurkers have been scattered, no Colossus. Instead, we're going for Disruptors. we are getting into disruptor production instead. 4th base getting up and running. Xingming, his economy is getting out of control. The Protoss is going to be the first to expand. Sorry, the first to max out. Ling's trying to go for a counterattack. We do get some Zealots. A handful of them. But not the best trade. And Xingming should be able to... I mean, I say he should be able to take this. He should be able to max out first and attack. Eric does have Lurkers. That's a piece of the puzzle. No Vipers. If we had Vipers, we would have a secure way to shut down these Disruptors. The Disruptors are the biggest threat to the Lurkers at the moment. Like 2 Novas take down the Lurker, and we're going to have plenty of Novas. We have 4 Disruptors, soon to be 6. And if they get across the map, then, again, without Vipers, Eric is going to have a very hard time holding. Speaking of, here we go, he's pushing in, trying to get on top of the production. Novas go off. They do take down 1 Lurker. The Robo does go down, though, and more Novas are going to be connecting. They take down another Lurker. Yeah, Eric, he just can't afford these trades. He has to get the hell out of here. Now, he did kill 1 Robo, which is nice, but how many? We still have 6 Disruptors. At this point, we've hit critical mass. We've hit critical mass of Disruptors. Xingming has maxed out. Now we have a big counterattack on the way. Now, Adapted Talons just finished up. The Lurker upgrades have completed, so we can try to micro against these Disruptors, but here we go. The army is upon us. Detection has arrived as well. Nova goes up. Take down another Lurker. At the same time, Eric going for a counterattack. Ooh, Lurker unable to unburrow in time. Nova's going off. They connect on the Hydras even. Meanwhile, we have the counterattack. We have cannons. We have detection. We have stationary detection. As it looks like Xingming is going to be able to break the defenses here of Eric. There's just too much Protoss on the ground. Eric, as he waddles on forward, he can actually break this base, but trading a base for a base. The reality is that this army here cannot be dealt with. Do we have any Lurkers at home to defend? We do not. 19 probes go down. We force a recall. Oh, this is an interesting choice. On top of the Lurkers. Oh, we have enough Protoss. Yeah, we have enough. We shut down the army. We clean up the Lurkers. There was detection. We will lose the base, but a good trade here for Xingming. Eric desperately going for another counterattack. Still on 3 bases himself. No Lurkers, though. Archons are on the way. We're making 3 Disruptors at a time. We're going to go for, like, pure Disruptor at this point. Which will work. It will work, Papi. Ling counterattack. Trying to get on top of these cannons before they finish up. It's going to be too late, though. Cannons are going down. What are our upgrades? We do have Adrenal. Oh my god. They're cracked. Crackling's doing what they can. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel on the hatchery. Eric is just going for a big counterattack. Eric pushing towards the natural, going for the kill move. This Ling run by is going to deny the 4th, which is okay, but the Lurkers, they're not done. The Lurkers are not done. We dive on top of them as well. We have detection even with the burrow. Quick splits there from Eric. He's doing what he can. He's trying to hold on. Trying his hardest here. The Lurkers, they do push forward, but Novas. Oh, God. Yeah, they will be connecting. Oh, they barely don't actually. The observer did die. We're making 3 observers at a time. We need detection. And we did not deny the 4th either. That's the problem. Lurker's going for a counterattack. There are no cannons ready for this. Archons are on the way. Nothing can actually attack, so these Lurkers will get on top of the base. Oh, not quite. Means the cannons are going to finish. There was potential. There was definitely potential for damage. The cannons will complete. One of them will at least. Ah, Lurker's unable to escape. God, Eric just trying to cause as much chaos as possible, going for another big counterattack. Luna camp the production even. It's one cannon. Lurkers are splitting. Oh my god, a pretty big concave, a pretty big arc here. We're going to be able to take down 2 of these robots at least. But we have detection already. If we have managed to get here before that, then maybe we can pull this off. Base is going to go down. Depowering the robo. We're up to 7 disruptors. Oh. Big connection, so one lurker goes down. They will escape. At the same time, another link counterattack. Eric is pulling apart his opponents. Oh, but these lurkers are going to go down. Big loss here for Eric. At the same time, though, he gets on top of the pylon. And oh, he focuses down. He gets the pylon. Depowers everything. Probes are going to be falling. He's hoping for the army to turn around. But alas, Xingming has had enough. Is pushing. And without lurkers to defend, yeah, we give up the natural. We're going into the main. Eric needs time. Oh my god. And Xingming is going to give him that time. He's going for that base instead. Eric is going to evacuate. Xingming is down to 2 bases. Like, Eric has done a surprising job actually just pulling apart his opponent and crippling the economy. But this army is the problem. The main army here, the only way that Eric can kill this is if he snipes the detection. Outside of that, I feel like we can A-move. We only have 2 lunkers. Base is going to be cancelled. Let's go up. They don't quite connect. How many observers do we have? 4. 4 observers. Yeah, we have 2 of them on the map, 2 of them with the main army. Good for another big warp in here. Like Xingming, he's got a bank. He's got almost 1k, 1k. Ninja. Eric going for a ninja base. Again, mad props here to Eric for what he's been able to accomplish with as little as he's had. I feel like he should have died. Like, we're at the 20-minute mark. I feel like Eric died like 10 minutes ago, but he's just achieved so much here. It's crazy. The tenacity. The tenacious turtle even. True. Oh, do you get the yoink? Mate, with the Viper, we can pick off 1 disruptor at a time. We can pull this off. Oh my god. At the same time, Eric, he tries to go for a counterattack, but we do have units in position. Oh, Xingming, he does scout. He does find the ninja base. He does come across it, and he should be going over to shut it down. Did just hold position his army, but the hatchery has completed, and he should get a kill. And unfortunate here for Eric. He just wants a base. That's all he wants. But yeah, the Viper would have been amazing earlier. It would have been beautiful. Oh! Viper goes down! Oh my god. The hatchery doesn't get killed. The army comes back. We're diving on this and we're trying to focus down as many of these disruptors as we can. Eric fighting this with 5 units here is going to fall in the end. GG gets called. Xingming will fight back and force the ace match. GG. The hell just happened? Oh my god. GG, well played. Oh my god. Eric fighting to his last here. And yeah, despite being behind, I'm checking the, like, this is crazy. This is the economy, by the way. Eric, from the 7-minute mark, was far behind here in the economy. His all-in did fail. He was crippled. He was struggling, and he still made it like an extra 13 minutes. Oh my god. Wild. And now we're going to the ace match. It all comes down to the final game on Solaris. Eric puffing up his chest there for as long as he could. Trying to hammer away at the stamina of his opponent, even at the mental state. I'm sure there was a moment there where Xingming was feeling insanely confident, like, why doesn't this guy leave? And then that confidence, like, kind of fell by the wayside once he started losing his bases. And then that feeling of dread sinks in, like, oh, hold up, am I gonna lose this? We've all been there, Papi. We've all been there. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris. We have the Chinese Protoss player representing Team JSLS. It is Xingming. And in the top right, oh, going for a 12 pull. Oh my, for the first time this series, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Eric. We have our 12 pull. We are not sending a drone across the map. Oh, I spoke too soon. It is going to be a bit of a later drone that is being sent across the map. It is going to be skirting the edge here, avoiding the scouting probe, and we should be going for a proxy hatch to try and disrupt this wall. So this isn't like a straight up like proxy hatch to snowball out of control and to build up an army and move in. This is designed to throw down to kind of disrupt the SimCity here of his opponent and to snowball. Torpal hasn't spotted. Xingming knows what's happening, but can he react in time because the hatchery has arrived. Just in time. The probe was a couple of seconds too late, going for a forge. No! Locked himself outside! That was unlucky, as the forge had to be cancelled. Rebuilt is going to be delayed as a result. Second pylon. Basically, we have to form a secondary wall around the hatchery, and with the forge, again, it's a good reaction. We can throw down cannons. Cannons are very crucial in this situation, just because we have very limited production. We can make one unit at a time with this gateway, and the gateway is under fire, so we need cannons to help defend. We need cannons to hold. Meanwhile, we're flooding links across the map. Even drones? I don't know. I don't think that's intentional, but drones are coming as well. Oh no, yeah, they are. The hatchery's gonna finish, and these drones are gonna arrive just in time to throw down some spine crawlers. Eric is completely all in with this. Shuts down the gateway, gets on top of the zealots, and he's breaking through. Cannons are on the way. But how many cannons? 2 cannons. Only 1 cannon should finish. The other is being focused down. Drones have arrived. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall, and Eric will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Eric does take it in the end here in a quite a cheeky fashion. Again, it was a bit of a later reaction, later scout from Xingming. So unfortunate. Again, that forge being cancelled and rebuilt, that was a couple of seconds. That's the difference between those cannons finishing and not. Those cannons, they were a couple of seconds away, and every second counts in StarCraft. Every second does matter. On top of that, the Zealot got surrounded, the Zealot got shut down. Just really, really unfortunate there for Xingming, and yeah, with that, Eric will take it and make it into the upper bracket finals. Let's go. And we have some catching up to do. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. As we do see that Demi was able to advance on 2-0 over Spiffy B, advancing on into the next round, and currently Honmono versus Demi is underway. They're currently mid-series. Not too sure if they're in Game 1, Game 2, or Game 3, but they're 14 minutes into their game. They are duking it out. Meanwhile, in the lower bracket, Xingming, he gets knocked down. He is not out of the tournament yet, though. He's going to be going into a best-of-1 against Spiffy B in a TVP. And that's going to be a scary one. Spiffy B is more of an amateur player. He's more of like an up-and-comer. But if you remember, last week, last edition of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, Spiffy B did force Nina into the ace match. So he's got some builds. He's got some cheeky builds up his sleeve for this matchup, for the TVP matchup. So yeah, he is not one to be underestimated. For now, though, we are going to be going on a small break. Basically, we're going to be waiting for Demi versus Homeowner to finish up, and then we'll either jump into that series or we'll follow that into the upper bracket finals. One or the other. One of the other here. So we are going to be going for a short break. When we return, we'll either have Homeowner versus Demi or Eric versus the winner of that series. See you soon. See you soon. Enjoy the Brood War OST. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended break there, for the extended delay, but we were waiting for a game to finish up here. We are jumping in mid-series, as you can see. Demi versus Honmono. They've been duking it out for quite some time. They just wrapped up a 34-minute game. They were going at it for 34 minutes in game 2, and we are tied up 1-1. We are slipping into the ace match. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Honmono. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Indian Zerg player representing Matcherino Esports. It is Demi. And after a 34-minute game, we have some cheats. We have a proxy, as that is not one SCV, that is not two SCVs, that is a third SCV moving out across the map. We're going for a proxy 3 ranks. We are committed. And I'm sure Demi, after a long 34-minute game, this is the last thing that is on his mind. Unfortunately, we don't really know what happened in game 1 or game number 2, other than the length of game 2. But there we go, the 3 axes are upon us. This is very committed, this is very all-in here from Honmono. Very difficult to kind of transition out of this. Now what's interesting as well, no gases. No gases have been taken. This is very unique to Honmono, but he's going for a proxy 3x Marine Rush here. I say unique, never mind. I mean, it's what we expect to see. Okay, my apologies. Something unique to Honmono, sometimes he goes proxy 2x Reaper in this matchup. That is more unique. But yeah, proxy 3x with these Marines should be coming in with SCVs, should be throwing down bunkers here on the low ground as well. Looking to bust into not just the natural, but into the main base. Meanwhile, Demi did go for a hatch gas pool. Queens and Lings are on the way. SCV Scout is coming on in. Of course, confirming the timing of the hatchery, confirming that Lings have arrived. Link's already here. Sorry, my apologies. I said hatch gas pool. This was actually a faster pool timing here from Demi. Faster Links, faster Queens, a safer opener overall. Going to be working in his favor, keeping his units in his main base. Demi having a really good read, and now coming in with his Overlord to confirm that the Raxes are missing. This is best case scenario here for Demi. Okay, my apologies. I wasn't looking at the opener. I was distracted by these Raxes, Papi, y'all. But it was a delayed hatchery. Bunkers are on the way. Now, we do see 3 SCVs, so Demi actually gonna pull the boys. He's gonna try to break this. But there are so many Marines. Is breaking this really the best choice right now? He's going for it. Queen trying to focus down some of those SCVs. The Lings and the drones gonna be zoning the rest of this away. Both SCVs go down. Good target firing from Demi. He's gonna lose a handful of drones, but every single worker has gone down. These bunkers will not finish. So far, Demi holding beautifully here. Link speed is fit. Oh my god, Link speed. He's Link flooding behind this. We're just rushing into Links. And we're going to surround this army. Demi looking to just shut this down completely here. Oh my god. Bunkers are going to be going down. And Honmono, he needs to try to use the terrain to his advantage. He has to try to reduce the surface area. He has to get the hell out of here. Demi looking for the surround. Behind this, we're expanding. No factory, by the way, going straight for the CC. Demi is respecting these Marines, as he should. There we go. Raxes are on the way. We're going to be floating on over. Honmono racing back home. Demi trying to catch him. Trying to come across that army. Does spot the lack of wall. Marines are coming back home. Demi, he's going to beat him there. He can try to threaten that wall. Once again, trying to find those Marines, and he will come across them. Ooh, not the best engage. Demi bleeding out a lot of Lings in the process. But it's gonna be 17 Marines here against the 37 Lings. Honmono, he knows he can't push up this ramp. Demi's waiting for him. Behind this, Demi is droning. He's saturating his bases. Raxes are floating back home. We have a third CC on the way. Oh, Demi again, he can't quite collapse on this using the gas geysers, the mineral patches as well. Homeowner just making sure he doesn't get surrounded. And we are transitioning out of this. Demi, he is in a better position overall as he is droning. He is saturating his bases, getting up towards a third. Once again, trying to find that army. Oh my god. Doesn't quite get it though. Behind this, we have our factory on the way. Third CC as well. Homeowner being a little bit greedy here, but again, he needs to if he wants to recover. That's a second factory, by the way. That's a third factory. We're going into mech. We're going for a mech transition from a proxy 3 racks. I miss Honmono. I said it in the chat earlier. I was like, man, I can smell the mech coming. I can smell, yeah. Big scout though. Demi, he does come on in from the left-hand side. Sees one factory, sees a second, and we'll see the third factory as well. He sees everything in the main. He's aware of what's going on. That should trigger a Roach Warren response. Should be prepared here, or getting ready for the would-be Cyclones and Hellions. And there it is. Roach Warren is on the way. So again, a really crucial scout for Demi. Oh, we do have Hurricane thrusters in production. Demi, of course, getting his starbase up and running. Going to be droning, saturating his bases, getting up to Queens. Demi should be aware that he cannot break this position. Not anymore. So backing off and droning is the mature decision to make. And the game is going to be settling from here. Now, we're in a really interesting place because even though Proxy 3X is very committed, Homeowner didn't lose his Marines. Barely lost any. He lost 1 Marine this game. 1 Marine and 4 SCVs. So because he preserved his Marine count, he can always use it later on for the eventual push, or of course to keep himself safe. He's fully saturated here on 2 bases, now taking his 3rd TC. Because of the faster 3rd TC is catching up economically. Still not in the best position, but he's working on it. And he is spotted by Demi. Behind this, Demi getting fully saturated, taking all of his gases. Rushing into his lair. He's going to be delaying his Evo chambers here in favor of security, of roaches. And the game is going to be settling. Like, we're getting into a longer game. Good SimCity here from Honmono. Getting a wall off of depots. And it is going to be Hellions alongside those Cyclones. Oh boy. And Homeowner should be safe at this point. I don't think there's anything that can really threaten him at the moment. As I say that, Demi is going into Burrow and Tunneling Claws. There is potential. There's a lot of potential with this, but before we can talk about the Tunneling Claw Roaches, we are moving out here with our Cyclones and Hellions. Homeowner's pushing. Hellbats are being morphed in. A +1 vehicle weapons on the way. This is going to be a tight hold for Demi. How many roaches do we have? We have 4 roaches? Ooh. It's not going to be enough here. Thankfully for Demi, the army does collapse on this would-be 4th base. 4th is going to be cancelled at the same time. Demi going for a zoning lane counterattack, and there's not much at home to defend. There's 1 tank. That's not going to be enough. We get into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. Homeowner, he's committed. He can't turn back around. Not from this. And there's Roach Ravager waiting for him. The Queens as well. Biles will not be connecting. Homeowner, he's all in. He has to break this position. He's getting to the mineral line. The drones. But now the Roach Ravager's trying to hold on, but he does it. Kite into that mineral line. Workers are going down. Oh my god, 14! 14 workers go down to just Hellbats, really. Homeowner gets cleaned up, but Homeowner takes an economic lead. Back at home, his reinforcements did clean up as well. How many workers did we lose? 9 SCVs. 4 of them went down across the map. Only 5 SCVs went down in that counterattack. I'm a little bit shocked. I'm shocked that those Lings didn't get more done. I'm also shocked by how much damage Homeowner dealt. Killing 15 drones. With that, Homeowner has tied up the economy. Arguably, Homeowner is now ahead economically. At this point, he's down 10 workers. With mules, has kind of evened things up. As Demi's forced to retake his 4th. But Demi's still alive. He survived. That's what's important. Now we're getting to 1-1. +1 range, a +1 carapace. Tunneling Claws on the way. These burrow upgrades, like, with this, we can maybe get some counter damage done. There's no detection. there are orbitals, of course, and we're getting 3 orbitals at a time, by the way, alongside 2 more factories. We are mass expanding. But with these roaches, Demi should be able to find some counter damage here as long as the roaches don't get spotted. We can maybe slip into the natural or the main base. Demi needs to slow down Homono. Otherwise, the map is going to get cut in half. Here we go. Now we have additional roaches on the way. No, they get spotted! Oh my god. The Hellions, they spot the roaches. The scan reveals them. There we go. Sensor towers, missile turrets on the way. This was going to be, I wouldn't say a checkmate move, but a really good way for Demi to bounce back and take a lead. But alas, the technical roaches are spotted. Demi, though, on the cusp of maxing out. How many tanks do we have? That's the real question. We have only 3 tanks. We are making 3 tanks at a time. We need an extra wave or 2 waves here of production for Homono to defend. Without those tanks, Demi can break not just the 4th, but also the 3rd. Yeah, the boys have to be pulled. Homono, he knows he cannot defend against this. There are just too many roaches, too many ravagers. That one tank putting in some work. Additional tanks on the way. Boys being pulled. We have to try to hold the line here, protect these tanks. The Biles, they're going to bring down a 2nd tank. 14 SCVs go down, but Homono does push the summary back. But Demi has to just keep trading like this over and over again. Demi, he has the better economy. He's remaxing. And essentially has to keep trading with the tanks. He took down 2 tanks in that fight, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 tanks. And if he's able to keep the tank count low enough, he can snowball out of control. But behind this, oh, we're droning. We're saturating the 4th. We're getting up to 80 workers. Hive is on the way. 2-2. Demi is moving out. This time with more lings. Getting on top of the base. We just heavily muled, by the way. The mules doing what they can. Fungal grazes the army. Oh my god, but the roaches are getting annihilated, pushing up into these tanks. Not like this. Demi losing far too much there. I'm afraid to look. Decent fungal. That was 19 roaches going down for 1 tank. Yes, we did trade with the Cyclones, but Cyclones can be replaced. They're relatively cheap, especially the newer Cyclone. And yeah, only for 1 tank. We did get 10 SCVs and some mules, but mate, we've got plenty of orbitals, plenty of mules to use, or to make use of. And this tank line is getting larger and larger. I mentioned before that the goal from these attacks from Demi would be to reset the tank count or to keep it low. Of course, Demi is about to remax. He's still up in supply, don't get me wrong. But as the tank count gets higher, it's going to be more difficult to make Lingbane Road Ravager work. How many tanks are we up to? 8. So far, 8 tanks. Most of them are here on the front lines. That's what's important. Because of the base setup of Oceanborn, it doesn't take too much here to actually defend both locations. You're not spread too thin. Everything is kind of more centralized here for Honmono. Cyclones, they do catch a queen. Demi taking another base, joining up to 94 and getting into 3-3. And this is what's important. Vipers have now hit the field. Earlier, I was talking about how, like, if Demi keeps trading like this, it's going to be difficult to break a meching player with only Lingbane Road Ravager. That's true, I stand by that. But this isn't just Lingbane Road Ravagers. Lingbane Road Ravager, Viper. And Vipers, they are a good way to shut this down. Where are the Thors? I mean, we just don't really have the economy for Thors right now. We don't have the room for it. Homono is walling off. Moving out with a lot. That's 13 tanks, by the way. Jesus. But if these tanks budge up, it's only going to take a handful of blinding clouds here to deal with this. Does scan the main army. You can see Homono taking a more aggressive position here. But here come the Vipers. They've been spotted. There are the blinding clouds covering so many of these tanks. The Yoinks are coming in as well. We do shut down, what, 5 tanks? 6. Sorry, 7. 7 tanks just went down. A good trade here for Demi. It was 5 siege tanks, 1 tank on the right-hand side that was unsieged, and 1 tank died to friendly fire. So 7 in total. Knocking it down to 11. Now we're getting back into cyclone production, just for anti-air, for more maneuverability. Demi working up towards double spire, greater spire on the way for those broodlords. Demi is thinking about that broodlord transition, which he will need. The miles. Oh, these tanks are bunched up, but only 1 goes down. Only 1 tank. Behind this Demi getting saturated. The tank wall is real. High sec auto tracking on the way. The cyclone count has been thinned out at least a little bit, but we're making 9 cyclones at a time. Oh my god. Oh, bit of a miss rally. A free tank. Not quite. Oh, do you get it? Expensive loss there for Honmono. Now, what's important is that Honmono, he's closing the gap. Now he's only down 50 supply. But I spoke too soon. Here come the Vipers. Big abductions. Another big wave of tanks go down. Demi is trading, but he has a bank. He has a bank and Honmono doesn't. A bit of an overextension towards the end. But Demi, he was able to take down 6 tanks in that fight. Lost 1 Viper. Kept the rest alive. That's 5 Vipers out for Demi. I do think this is a good moment to move out. Demi, he's battered and bruised. He's still rebuilding. But Cyclones have to be careful not to overextend. Honmono pushing on forward here. Once again, nice abductions on the Cyclones. Even some of the tanks. Miles connects to 3 more tanks go down. A 4th tank, a 5th tank as well. And this should be too much. This should just be far too much here. As Demi is still being forced back. Still cannot push forward. But he's been trading so well. Looks like he lost another Viper. He's down to 4. Now Broodlords are on the way. And there are no Thors. Like, because Honmono hasn't been able to max out. Because Honmono hasn't been able to build up a bank. No Thors, no Vikings, no... I mean, he has Cyclones that can shoot up. But Cyclones are not ideal at all against Broodlords. So these Broodlords here, they're a bit of a checkmate move. Demi been able to tech up, keep the tank out low. Again, if his opponent was able to max out, then we would have seen Thors. But the Broodlords have been revealed. Tank's going to be falling. Honmono going for a desperation move, going for a big counterattack. And he is forcing Demi to turn around. But Honmono, he needs to buy so much time with this. Ling's going to be engaging. So many Lings do get shaved up. It's Demi. He does retreat now. Even though Demi did lose a couple of Roaches and some Lings, the Broodlord count, that's what's important. It's been getting higher and higher. Another base is going to be going down. Honmono doing a really good job here at distracting Demi. At trying to pull apart his attention. Doubling down, making 12 Cyclones at a time. We're up to 31. Jesus. Ling's gonna try to engage. We're gonna be trading a base for a base. This planetary is gonna go down. At the same time, these Lings get completely shut down, and the Cyclones are going for their own hatchery. So Honmono is gonna be losing 1 base, but so will Demi. But can these Broodlords be stopped? We can commit. We can keep pushing. But do these Cyclones force Demi back home? They do. Demi, he's racing back home. He doesn't want to lose another base. He knows how much potential there is in these Cyclones. But Honmono, now with the 2nd Cyclone army, he's moving out once again, denying another hatchery, and Demi, he needs to catch them. He needs to catch these Cyclones so desperately. He gets a couple. Demi, he's down to what, 5 hatcheries. Still has a bank. He can still remax. Oh. He's in position. Broodlords are here. Meanwhile, Homeowner, he just immediately retakes the space. Homeowner up to 43 Cyclones. Long past is the era of the tank. It's all about the Cyclones at this point. Tanks are doing what they can to assist though, but Jesus Christ. The Mass Cycle, we collapse on the Roach Ravager. We clean everything up. Demi being forced back, and it looks like Homeowner, for the first time this game, has taken a supply lead. And Demi's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble at this point. He cannot. At this point, there's more than enough to dive on top of these Broodlords. More than enough. The DPS is just so damn high. And we have a meme about like how many mutas we have. Like, what is it? It's like we have a flock of mutas, we have a cataclysm of mutas, an apocalypse of mutas, like depending on how many there are. I feel like we need a new graphic. I need to contact Steel about this. About Mass Cyclone. We have 54 Cyclones. Thor production underway. We have over 50 Cyclones, Sparky. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Good abductions. That is a good answer, but we lose 13 drones and a base as well. Army's going to be zoned back at the same time. A Roach counterattack, but we have Cyclones to defend. The Roaches, they do get onto one of those Thors. Not a bad pickoff, getting a Thor. Bit of a misclick there, but it's all good. But again, Homeowner's army is just so mobile. Like the downside of what's happening right now, and I should talk about this a little bit as the Roach Warren goes down. Broodlords are so immobile. Broodlords are so immobile that Homeowner, he just ignores them, and here he's diving on top of them as well. There's just not enough supports. It's going to be an expensive dive, but we get on top of the Broodlords, and every single one is going to go down. GG gets called, and Homeowner will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the upper bracket finals. GG. GG, well played. Proxy 3 racks into mech. It was more of a tank heavy style, but once Demi revealed his Broodlords, Homeowner, he went for 12 Cyclone production at a time and snowballed out of control. Demi was doing well for himself. If you remember, he was doing well with his Lingbane Roach Ravager. With his first revelation of those Broodlords, he was gaining ground, he was picking off tanks, he was pushing forward. But, as we mentioned, because the Cyclones are so mobile, we saw that Homeowner, he was able to go for all these counterattacks, all these run-bys, and force Demi to turn around, force him to try to keep up. Alas, that Broodlord army is just so slow and cannot catch up with him. And eventually, Homeowner snowballed out of control. GG, well played. And with that, we have our next series. We have the upper bracket finals. Here we go. And I need to quickly set this up. So Demi gets knocked down. As we switch our scenes over, Demi gets knocked down to the lower brackets, where he's going to be facing off against Eon in a ZVZ. They are going to be duking it out in that best of one. The winner goes up against Xing Ming, as Xing Ming has taken out Spiffy B 1-0. He's waiting in losers round number 2 for his next Zerg opponent. Meanwhile, we have our own series. It's going to be Eric versus Honmono. Let's go. And again, Honmono able to survive and transition out of the proxy 3 racks into mech like that was impressive. It was an impressive feat here from Honmono. And I wonder, was Eric watching? That's what I'm curious about. Was Eric? Yeah, there we go. He's in the chat. Avenge Demi, Papi. Oh god. I just saw Eric in the chat, and yep, that's his next opponent. He's like, the hell's going on? Oh, that is what comes up next. It is going to be Eric versus Honmono. And can Eric survive the mech? Can he survive what Honmono brings to the table? Oh boy. Not like this. Let's some players. Yeah, damn. Just messaging the players. It looks like the players, they need a little bit of time to process what the hell just happened, and they need some time to gather their thoughts. So we're gonna be going on a very short break while they conduct their vetoes, and when we return, we have our next series, Eric versus Honmono, up next. Oh, are we gonna see Mass Cyclone again? Not like this. We'll be back soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, we did have a bit of a break there, and to be fair, I don't blame Homono for needing a moment to kind of even absorb what the hell happened from his perspective in that last game, because that was crazy. That was wild what we were able to experience. But now we're getting into a fresh best of 3 into the upper bracket finals. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Eric. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran, the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is Hon Mono. The man of many names. At times he's Hon Macro, he can be Hon Mech, he can be Hung Mono even at times when he plays Bio. He can man of many names, and yeah, we'll see what kind of Hon Mono we get this time. Eric is going for a 15-15. So fun fact, Eric, he didn't just invent and popularize this opener against Protoss. Eric does this in every matchup. He goes 15-15 against Terran, Zerg, and Protoss as well. That is what makes him unique, because he does it in every matchup, whereas from other players, it's mainly used against Protoss. We've seen a rise in popularity of this opener against Terran, but that's only because of the 2-Rax opener. Because of the Beyond 2-Rax Reaper, that has kind of allowed this opener to actually be more viable against Terran, just to be safe, just to cut corners, get earlier queens, and to drone and be greedy. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how this build and opener has kind of permeated throughout the scene and through the meta, and yeah, has found its place. But again, from Eric, he does it every matchup. He did. Behind this, we're going for a Rax Expand, standard opener here from Hon Mono. This time we are not cheesing, we are not proxying. We're not going for what happened in that last game, but I'm sure Hon Mono has it in him to cheese at some point, or to proxy, I should say, to proxy at some point in this series. Meanwhile, Eric going for a Roach Rush. Going for a 15-15 into a delayed gas. Guys are going straight for the Roach Horn, skipping link speed. Reaper has arrived, is going to be checking the saturation, checking the third base. Once we see the lack of third, Hon Mono, he needs to go into the main. He needs to figure out what the hell's going on. Now, I don't think this is going to be an all-in from Eric. I believe as the firstlings do get across the map, they do delay the CC. Oh my god, we could try to force a cancel. Behind this, we have a third CC before starport. Very economic opener here out of Hon Mono. And the Reaper didn't go in. Okay, there we go. We are now rotating back into the main base. Hon Mono, he needs to figure out what is happening, and he will get into the main. He will eventually see the Roach Warren. As he does get behind the mineral line, Roach Warren has been spotted. Now, bearing in mind, we are not committing. As you can see here, only a handful of roaches. I believe we're only going to be pushing with 3 roaches. We only have 2 on the way. It's only to apply some pressure and ideally force an overreaction. But we have Cyclones on the way. 3 roaches, they're just gonna melt against this. There we go. Only 2 roaches were made. Behind this, we're droning. We're just droning, and we're going 2-base lair. Interesting. Okay. It's gonna be a 3cc 2-on-1, by the way. That is a second Rax on the way. Hon Mono, he is known for his 3cc 2-on-1 play, very bio heavy. So, gonna be very marine and bio oriented here from Hon Mono. He can play mech as we saw previously, but he doesn't only play mech. Hon Mono, he's more diverse than that. Now, with a 2-base lair play, we have seen Eric in the past go 2-base swarm host in ZVT. He's on record. We've spoken to him, we've had an interview with him that he does not like going 2-base muta. So I don't think it's going to be Aspire, but I mean, times change. It's been a couple of months since that interview. Maybe Eric is willing to embrace 2-base muta. For now, Roach Speed. Roach Speed. It's only going to be Roach Speed on the way. We're getting to a 3rd hatchery as well. No Spire whatsoever. We're doubling down on Roach production. Scan does reveal the additional gases. And also reveals that the Roach Warren is researching. So that's a tell that the lair is done. That is a tell. Cyclones have arrived, and oh, they're going to be forcing a cancel on this base. Oh my god. As we do barely hold on to it. Roaches will force this back, trading 1 for 1. 2 for 1. Almost get the Cyclones. Ooh, as we do manage to pick one off here towards the end. Clutch Transfuse keeping the Roach alive. Behind this, Eric, he goes in for the scout. He does get eyes on both Raxes. Again, 3CC211 has been confirmed from Eric. He's aware it's not mech. He's aware he's up against Bio. Additional upgrades on the way, and Eric, he is pushing already. At least looking to, or hoping to catch some of these Cyclones. They're very low. And with these Cyclones being so low, okay, thankfully we have a bunker. We have a bunker on the low ground. Homono should be safe. He's preemptively pulling some boys to repair. Cyclones being topped up. Ravagers are on the way. Now, as Eric applies pressure with the Roach Ravager, he is droning behind us. Like, he's still saturating his bases, taking his gases. He's applying pressure while being economic. But while focusing on his economy. Boys, we pull the miles! Ooh, big connections. 5 SCVs go down. And we focus down some of these Cyclones as well. We get one. We try to get the other as well. Miles will be not quite connecting. Good control here from Homono. After losing that first Cyclone, the juggling was on point. Saving the Marauder, saving the second Cyclone. Miles will be zoning back the army. As Eric tries to escape, but he loses 2 Queens. Big loss. 2 Queens do go down. Creep is going to be receding. As Eric was trying to be a little bit cheeky, spreading creep in the center of the map, and Honmono will force back this army. Homono, before overextending, will retreat. 2-2 is about to kick in. He's saturating his third base. Homono, he does have a better economy. Straight up. He has a stronger economy right now. A little bit oversaturated, but soon he should be just rotating and maynarding over. Behind this, Eric getting into 1-1. Delayed fourth base. For those that are curious, maybe who haven't watched much of Eric, he's very similar to Miyamika in a sense that he doesn't like droning too much early on. He's one that does kind of reserve himself a little bit more and focus a little more on army production instead, hoping to catch his opponent off guard. That's hurting him here just because Homono is stable on 3 bases. And Eric hasn't done enough. Behind this, gases are being taken. Second factory is on the way. This is not going to be a 3-base all-in. Oh, good contamination on the factory by the... Oh my god, didn't even see that. But Homono, he's working towards a 4th. He's working towards a much longer, later game. He's not going for an all-in. Meanwhile, behind this, Eric going to be taking up even further, going for the infestation pits. We're going to go into that hive tech, into vipers, into infestors, which will help support these roaches and ravagers. But now he's poking out. Going to be checking the checking the would-be 4th base. Sees that there's nothing there. Creep continuing to be spread through the center of the map. Additional Raxes are on the way. Eric trying to rotate around here. Sensor tower is finished, so of course Homono does spot the army, does go for the scan, just see what he's up against. 3 infestors are in production. And again, infestors, they do help support Roach Ravager quite well. So we're also working towards Burrow and Tunneling Claws. Queens are being called out though. Oof. Do you manage to finally pick up that one Cyclone? Does get focused down. Homono, he's going for his 4th CC as well. Bit of a delayed 4th, but a 4th nonetheless. Army seems on board. Big Fungal! Big Fungal on the army. A Chain Fungal as well. We do focus down quite a lot of the Marines and the Marauders. Not a bad pickoff. With that, Homono does take a supply lead. Sorry, Eric takes a supply lead. We have one more Fungal. Up! Oh, it barely does graze the army. We do pick up a couple more Marines, but the tanks behind this, they get quite a lot done. Pretty intense trade here for Honmono, but again, he needs to back up. A little bit too cavalier. Behind this, we have the Hive on the way. Lurker Den, we're going into Hydra Lurker Viper. I guess a tank heavy style, I'm not too sure I'm convinced. But for now, Eric, he's been trading. Behind this, he's been droning as well. We could do with some more workers. We're only on 3-way saturation. Meanwhile, Homono, my god, doubling down here, getting up to 70 SCVs. We do have a massive Roach counterattack here in the main base. And Roaches, they do tunnel into the third as well. We're going for the factory. Oh my god. Do we get it? We do. That's a kill in the factory just before the tank comes out. Roaches, can they escape? Also, Roach drop into the main. They do barely tunnel away, forcing another scan. At the same time, SCVs have gone down. 8 SCV kills here at the third. Eric pulling Homono apart a little bit. The bio player is usually going for drop play, but no, this time it's Eric. Yeah, forcing out those turrets. Behind this, Lunker upgrades are in production. Vipers are on the way as well. Eric, he has control of the map. He has been successfully containing Homono to 3 bases. Even though Homono had a higher worker count, he wasn't mining efficiently. Meanwhile, the tanks, they're getting caught out. No. The tanks, they do get caught. 2 tanks, 3 tanks go down. And we have 1 tank left. We even took down a factory earlier. Remember that. It has just been rebuilt. But Homono is hurting. And Eric, he is looking to snowball out of control. Still staying on a low worker count. He only took his 4th base for the gases. Ooh, a bit oversaturated here. Could do with some just a rotation here of his workers, just re-rallying them towards that 4th. There it is. Drone's now head towards that 4th base. But Homono is now finally going to be active. That's going to be a cancel on the fresh base here of Eric. Stripping the fungals. Oh my god. Catching some of these medevacs, and there we go, one after the other. We do catch the medevacs, and we get another fungal the vials. Oh my god, we take down 2 medevacs with 1 vial. Oh my god. I didn't think that it would have the AoE for that. The range even. A big pick off there for Eric. And Eric has maxed out. Still staying on 3-way saturation, by the way. 69 drones. Nice. The Vipers, they do get caught for a moment. Barely are saved. And Eric is looking to collapse on this army. The infestors do get caught out though. All 3 of them. Oh, a bit of a blunder from Eric, losing his infestors. Behind this, how many lurkers do we have? 12. Jesus, 12 lurkers are coming in. The Vipers are still available for some abductions. And we're going for it. It's a lot of tanks. 2 of them do get yoinked. We have 4 more behind this, and we cannot push in. We have to back off. We have to respect this. We have to regenerate that energy on the Vipers. Roaches are getting picked off. Homono trading well. The Lyles. Take down another tank. As you can see, Eric just repositioning, out-positioning Homono here. But being so aggressive with these lurkers. Just trying to get on top of the army. Once again, Lyles will connect, taking down, not just Marines, lurkers, massive spine shots. Homono, his army melts here before the might of all these lurkers. And Eric, he just has too much. Taking down another tank and a medevac as well. As Eric rotates over, catches more of these Marines, containing his opponent, just not allowing Homono to push out. Not giving him any breathing room. Meanwhile, the planetary has gotten up and running. So Homono, he is still on 3-base economy. He still has an equivalent economy to the Zerg. Lurkers are going to be isolated. They do get cleaned up. Eric double expanding. Now droning. Let's go. Actually making workers. Droning up past 70. $77 drones even. But what's important is that Homono, he kept that CC alive. He rotates, he maynards over. He has a decent economy. Homono, he's still in this. He is very much so still in this. Eric doing everything he can to try to pull Homono apart. We still have some Vipers. There we go. Vipers are now joining the main army. We do have a decent wall of tanks. They get a couple of hits in. One lurker goes down, but there are those abductions. We're going 3 of these tanks, 5 tanks even. Oh my god, there's only 1 tank left. 3 Vipers, all you need here to shut down 5 of those tanks. And from here, Eric, he denies the 3rd, he backs up, he engages with the main army. Oh, massive fungal as well from behind! The chain fungals are... GG gets caught with the Japanese keyboard. And Eric will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god. In a very Eric fashion, where, again, he just... There are these, like, bursts of droning that he goes for every couple of minutes, but doesn't really commit too hard to it. For such a long time, he was stuck at less than 70 workers at around 69 to 66 drones. That's all he had, or 69 to 64 even. And just hyper-aggression here out of Eric, going for tunneling claw of roaches, drop loads into the main, and really good control. This is something that Eric is known for, but like whether it's spellcaster control with his fungal growths, his biles, his lurker movements, constantly repositioning, pushing further and further forward, just choking out his opponent, not giving Homono any room to breathe. Just, yeah, really impressive stuff. And Homono was able to keep up for a time, but not forever there. Eventually he was broken. Eventually, especially when it came to preserving his tanks, he just wasn't able to. And yeah, Eric takes game number 1. Now we're getting into that second game. Meanwhile, we have a couple of updates here. It looks like Eon... Oh, unfortunately, Eon did forfeit. Demi did get the walkover over our Costa Rican Zerg player. And Demi is facing off against Xingming in the lower bracket. So the bracket is progressing. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings, leading the series 1-0. It is Eric. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hyper 1, living in the land of Japan. It is Hon Mono. Here we go. Here we go. As we do have once again Eric going for an earlier hatchery here. Actually, this time no. This time it's not. It's a 14 hatch. Okay. There was no gas geyser cancel there from Eric. Just going straight for the 14 hatch instead. 14 hatch into a 14 pool. You have my attention. Now, 14 hatches is a variation that we saw the Korean scene also adopt when it came to going for a hatch first variation. We saw a lot of the foreign scene kind of adopt the 15 hatch, and we saw Dark and Ragnarok at the time, Shin now, go for 14 hatches instead, which was, yeah, really interesting to see them kind of take a different route and a different kind of approach. So yeah, really interesting. It's just a way to kind of get into this without having to cancel or waste resources. Getting into a slightly faster hatchery, into a slightly faster spawning pool, getting out the queens. Again, is less economic, but we're able to get this up and running. And the question becomes... Okay, I was about to say, do we open up gasless? And how long are we going to delay this gas geyser? Not for too long. Gases are taken, Roach Horn's on the way. Very similar opener here between game 1 and game 2, going to fast gas into the fast Roach Horn. Now in game 1, Eric only went for 2 roaches, if you remember. He went for 2 roaches and droned up behind it. We'll see how hard he commits this time. As Homono is going for a 1-1 opener. No proxy, no cheese. Not yet, not in game 2. Ooh, as the Reaper goes down, but Homemono did get a full scout. The Reaper may have died, but we did see the Roach Warren. Once again, 3cc opener here from Homemono. Once again, because it's only one gas and because it was delayed gas as well, I don't think Eric is going to commit too hard to the Roaches. So I think Homemono is going to get away with this more economic opener. Oh, yo! There's some Brazilian chat in the chat. You'd love to see it. Yeah, I did hear that Amantes de StarCraft is coming back. Those wondering, Amantes de StarCraft is a Brazilian-only tournament. Been very, very tempted to cast it. Very tempted, if we have the time. But meanwhile, behind this, Eric, yeah, he went for the Roach Horn because he got scouted. 0 roaches. 0 roaches were built, 0 roaches were made, and we're going straight for the lair, straight for additional gases. It's 4 gases in total. This should just be for roach speed, but I'm curious if this goes in a different direction into something crazy, like a fast infestation bit. Meanwhile, Homemono is going into his 3cc 2-1-1, just like last game. Very economic, into a biocentric composition. Hellions have arrived. Going to be applying some pressure to this third base. Eric fully walling off here on 2 bases. I say fully walling off. Just walling off with his Evo Chambers and with his Queens. Just make sure he's safe against the Hellions. Roaches are on the way, and Eric should be able to save the space. Should be able to shut this down. As Queens are on the way. Behind this, we get into 1-1. Hellions, they try to dive in, but the Roaches are in position. The Hellions are going to be punished. 1 Hellion went down. Homemono doing a bit of a lap, but doesn't get in either. Now, what is scary here as we're reaching the 5-minute 30 mark, we get a full scout. Eric does confirm the Bio Army. And as soon as these medevacs pop out for Homemono, we should be pushing. We should be pushing here with 16 Marines with Stim. And it's going to be on Eric to be able to survive. Here we go. The Marines, with a couple of Hellions to support them as well, are going to be moving out across the map. Stim is complete. Roaches are coming out at the same time, though. Eric going for his own push. Oh, he's going to be spreading creep. He's going to be spreading... Yeah, show us the creep with the Overlord. But here comes a double drop into the third base. Roaches are in position, at least a handful of them. But the mineral line, 3 workers go down almost in an instant. And we can just go back and forth here between the third and the main. Creep is spreading. But we're trading well here. Getting a couple of these roaches, but additional reinforcements have arrived. We force back the army. Forced to drop into the natural, focusing down a couple more of these Queens. Oh, the transfuse! Ooh, barely keeps alive. 1 medevac falls. And Eric has gotten away with droning. He only lost what? Sorry, I want to say 3 workers? Yeah, 3 drones went down. 1 Queen, 1 Roach. A really good trade here for Eric. He gets away with droning, gets away with his saturation. Scan comes in, but because of the way that Eric has been spreading creep, so many of these tumors still survive. 2 dormant and 1 active, to be fair. But the creep is still looking healthy here for Eric. Now he's going for a bit of a counterattack, but yeah, with this Bio Army, a bit of an overextension. Eric, he's going to be losing quite a lot here. He gets 1 Marauder. Oof. For a big chunk of roaches. So 4 additional roaches in total. Eric trying to get ready for this push, but tanks are getting in position. 4th CC is on the way. A much faster 4th this time from Homemono. I'm sure he's aware of the defensive capabilities of Oceanborn, as we saw against Demi. Like, this position is so difficult to break. Like, just very narrow. We have high ground here on the left-hand side. A very narrow choke point here on the right. Good SimCity, good tank positioning. Pushing in here is going to be very difficult for Eric. Instead of pushing, It's gonna be chilling here outside the bases. We have another double drop coming in, triple drop even. The army's racing back home. Drop is going for that main. We have Infestation on the way, Bailey Nest, Link Speed as well. We do get a queen. A couple of roaches. We're going for the lair. No shot, he's gonna get it. The lair is gonna go down, which means no hive. The Infestation was just about to finish for Hive Tech. Without a hive, no vipers. Ay, ay, ay. No 3-3 either. This is actually a pretty big pickup. A massive blow here for Eric. The medevac. Oh my god. Calm down. Medevac will escape at the same time. Homono gonna be clearing up a big chunk of this creep. Shutting down these tumors. And Eric is close to maxing, but again, I don't think he can break this position. I do think he can deny the fourth, though. Here we go, he's pushing it forward. He's going to try his luck, getting within range of those tanks. Biles will be connecting. They take down one tank in the bunker. No, the bunker survives. Oh my god. Good bunker. Biley does get picked up. And some of the production is looking a little bit exposed. Try to chip away at the factory itself. The SimCity looking significantly worse. And again, the goal here, deny the fourth. God. The pattern of vials. Bit of an awkward retreat here for Eric. Creep is less than ideal now because it did recede earlier. Investors are on the way. Lair is done. Still no hive. There we go. Hive just now starting here for Eric because it takes a moment to breathe here. Still on a low worker count. Still on only 67 workers. Can the most honorable macro player fight back against the raging kangaroo? True. The most honorable of honorables. Aye, aye, aye. Let's go. Eric is pushing forward, forcing back the army for a moment. Behind this Homono, he's getting his fourth base fully saturated. He has a better economy. Hive is finishing. Here come the fungals. The infestors, they come in from behind. Big fungals on the army. Big biles as well, but alas, the tanks are just doing too much. Massive tank shots go off, and Eric's supply plummets. Aye, aye, aye. It was good fungals, it was a good engagement, but the tanks, they were something that Eric just wasn't ready for. Now Eric, he's in some trouble. He's being pinned against the wall. Fifth base on the way. Biles, they take down another one of those tanks. Bathings are rolling in. No bathing speed. But we don't need it. We shut down the tanks. And Eric does hold. Forces back the army. We do have reinforcements, though. The Wiles. Oh, my God. They almost focused down the tank. And Eric, he can keep on pushing. A surprisingly good fight here for Eric. It's a Marauder. Forces are cancelled on the CC. Tanks are getting in position though. Yeah, we cannot push in. The tank line, this time the SimCity looking too good with these Raptors. Planetary still up and running though. Homono still with the better income. And Eric needs a moment to breathe. Homono going for a counterattack. Eric does have an overload in position, does see the army. He's going to be turning back around. There we go, Homeowner pushing forward. How many tanks do we have? We are up to 5 tanks here. Good fungal. Good chain fungally. Oh my god. We shut down a big chunk of the bio army. Tanks are pushing forward, but they are bunched up. Oh, Eric with an awkward engage though. Biles almost take down the tanks, but just one Bile short. See Homono trying to get within range of that hatchery. Yeah, this base should not get up and running. Not with this tank count. Do we have any Vipers? We do! 3 Vipers are gathering up energy. Once we have them, we can engage. But until that moment, Homono, he has to... Oh, sorry. Eric, he has to give Homono quite a bit of breathing room. Here we go. We have to push in. Decent bathing connections. One tank goes down. So will another, but... Oh, God, we've let out so much Roaches and Lynx to make that happen. Yeah, Eric, he's just being pinned further and further back. Ay, ay, ay. Eric, in the midst of all this, going for a counterattack, but we have reinforcements back at home. These things are going to be able to trade somewhat. Yeah, there's just too many Marauders, too many Marines. Lings go down. We can focus on the assault. Where are the blinding clouds? There we go. We do have some decent blinding clouds on the army, but the tanks, they do get covered. Even without the tanks, though, there's just too many Marines, too many Marauders. It looks like Homono has done it. He has too much. He has broken through. This is the last of the army for Eric. He'll be bleeding out too much. GG gets pulled. Homono fights back, tying up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. There were some good moments there for Eric, some good fights as well, but alas, he did run out of steam. There were a couple of moments where he just lost too many Roaches here, just traded too inefficiently. That's the thing with Eric, so because Eric has a low worker count, and he always does, he needs to be that much more careful with his fights, and if he ever takes a bad engagement, then it is difficult to recover from, and he does lose a lot of momentum as a result. It would have been okay if Eric was able to deny the 4th a little bit longer, but the 4th was able to get up and running and was never really contested, was never really touched. Homono was able to just enjoy a better economy as a result. Something that didn't happen in Game 1. If you remember, in Game 1, because of the map, because of Hecate, it was easier to punish the bases of Homono and deny some of the mining. Here on Oceanborn, because of the layout, it's much more defensive. A much more defensive setup on Oceanborn, much more difficult to break. And now we're getting into the ace match. Getting into game number 3 on a much larger map, but also a map with a goal base. I'm curious. Eric, what do you have for us? Show us what you got. We have been seeing similar builds and similar openers. Game 1 was a 15-15. Game 2 was a 14-14. Now what do we have? What does Eric go for? Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the Brazilian Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings being forced into the ace match. Looking to fight back. It is Eric. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Hyper 1, living in the land of Japan, tying up the series 1-1. It is Homono. Forcing the ace match, fighting back hard. Now, it all comes down to Alcyone. Here we go. And do we have a standard opener? We're making drones before the spawning pool. It's a hatch gas pool. Standard opener here from Eric. This makes sense on Alcyone. So this map is very macro oriented. Has a much longer rush distance by ground. Has, of course, a very stable and secure third and even fourth base. Has a gold as well that you can try to take advantage of early on, but for the most part, this map is known for its late game. It's known for its split map scenario, and I wonder if Eric is looking to embrace that or looking to take another route entirely. For now, everything is, again, looking normal. Very standard opener out of Eric. Meanwhile, across the map, likewise, Homono going for a hatch gas pool. Now, what I like about what Eric is doing here is that Eric is playing with his reputation, or playing with the series, maybe a better way. Every game so far, Eric has been going for a hatch first variation, but with an early pool and an early roach warren. Every game, early roaches, or sorry, an early roach warren. Every single game, without fail. So he's kind of been weaving a tale, weaving a story of how he plays out this matchup. So here in the ace match, something different entirely. And Homono, even though he himself is known for aggression and he himself is known for cheese, isn't going to be going for it, especially against a player that goes for early spawning pools. So does kind of fake him out, and yeah, as a result, Eric is able to have a stable economic start, and Homono doesn't punish him. Or I should say, Homono doesn't really have any reason to go for any kind of proxy of his own. Meanwhile, it was a hatch gas pool, but Eric is going for a hidden hatchery behind the mineral line. We're staying in gas, and we're getting into roaches. So far, the Reaper hasn't gone into the main, not yet. Even if it did, we do have a queen in position to try and deter it. But we're going into the main. We are ready for the dive. Back at home. Oh, we do have a 3cc 2-on-1 opener once again. Every game so far, Homeowner has gone for this. Now, he has mixed it up when it comes to going Cyclones or Hellions to support, but overall, same setup here when it comes to the buildings of choice, the build order even. And the Reaper hasn't gone into the main. Lings, they come in, they catch a mule. Ooh, pretty high energy mule or high duration mule at that. One mule, one SCV, two Lings, they do escape. Barely make it out. And looking at the vision here of Honmono, he never saw the main. He turns back around with his Reaper. He hasn't seen anything. Ay, ay, ay. Also, of course, a shout out to the turtle. It's tussling tenaciously. Quack. What sound do turtles make? Ay, ay, ay. And here we go with that fast gas. We are not getting into too many roaches. We're making a handful, don't get me wrong. So we're moving out with Lings, moving out with these Ravagers, applying pressure, forcing an overreaction. Oh, I mean, say an overreaction. An after reaction here. Evacuating that natural base. Eric going to be pushing in behind this. Eric, he's droning, taking a lair, saturating his bases. He is macroing. Oh, the Lings, they do get melted here by the Hellions. Wow, it's not looking too bad. We do focus on one of the gas geysers, containing Homeowner to one base. Homeowner hasn't lost too many SCVs. But he is contained. And Eric, he's droning. Oh my god, quite hard actually. Eric will be taking an economic lead. Not something you get to say too often. But again, thanks to his aggression, he was able to pull it off. Overseer's on the way to try to get a scout off. Stim about to finish up. And that third CC will soon be taken. Now the question becomes, while Eric gets into his upgrades, gets into his lair, into his roach speed, do we saturate this third? And so far we are. So far, Eric, he's still not making units, like he's still just droning. Yeah, in a very different area. So I do appreciate it. He does confirm the third CC. Does see the factory as well. The bio army. Eric should be aware that a medevac drop should be coming soon. So he should be getting ready for it, as for the time being, we're joining up to 55. We have a couple of Lings here to defend. Should be getting into more roaches as well. As I'm surprised that Homeowner hasn't moved out. There we go. It now is, but we're at the over 6 minute mark here. A very delayed push. I mean, I guess it was delayed because of the economic damage that was done earlier. So the build of Homeowner has been disrupted. And Eric, he's gone up to 60 workers. Pretty good. Double drop. Heading towards the main has been spotted here by Eric. Eric is aware. And drop comes in. Drop goes out. Eric was in position. Yeah, this 1-1. We have melee upgrades here. Eric going into much faster bathing speed. For the first time this series, Eric, he isn't going for a Roach Ravager heavy composition. He does have Ravagers to support, but they're more of a supportive unit. Instead, we're going into Ling Bane. Okay. Again, Eric showing us that he can and will play different styles. So far, only revealing his Roaches and Ravagers. Did have Lings here earlier, but again, Banelings have yet to be revealed yet as well. Back at home, Homeowner just getting his third base up and running. Second factory, more gases. This should be leading into a 4cc. The most honorable of honorable. He's getting into his macro play. Likewise, Eric droning up over 70. And getting a fourth and a fifth. Double expanding. He's crazy. He's lost his mind. But again, playing to the map, I do think that this is kind of how you want to approach this. I remember casting Eric the first week of this patch, and he learned the hard way that this map specifically is just, again, very defensive, and it's really difficult to break a 3-basing player on Alki. Even a 4-basing player is very difficult to break as well. Here comes the drop play. We got a drop here on the right hand side. We have a drop coming in towards the left as well. Homeowner trying to pull apart his opponent. This one being a double drop, by the way, going for the hatchery. Eric does leave units in the main to catch the Metamax. But that hatchery takes a lot of damage. Yeah, we can snipe it. This base is going to get picked off. Now, thankfully, Eric did double expand. Did double expand, but losing the base was brutal. But this time he does leave an army here in position. Bane's are done. Oh my god. Calm down. Behind this, Homeowner is just going to be building up his army. So is Eric. Hive is finishing up as well for those Vipers, for Adrenal Glands. 3-3. I mean, I say that, but 2-2 still hasn't started. I think that's an oversight here from Eric. Eric has 2,000 gas in the bank. We can afford 2-2. But it has been forgotten. There it is. 2-2 now on the way. Ooh, and we are going into Ultras. Let's go. Ultras on the way. Behind this, a big Ling counterattack as well. Homeowner pushing right through the center, but the Lings, they catch reinforcements, they catch tanks. Uh-oh. And yeah, Homeowner, he has to turn back around. One tank goes down. Second tank is going to be focused down as well. Big pickoffs. We even get on top of the factory, and we get 12 SCVs. This one Ling run by is killing Homeowner. We bust into the mineral line. 25 SCVs go down. We're going for the high yield depot as well. Homeowner was doing so well for himself. He was keeping up neck and neck here with Eric until this moment, until one misstep. 26 SCVs. And Eric is maxed. Eric, he's on 80 drones, taking a 5th and a 6th hatchery. We have 4 Vipers on the way. Kindness plating. This Ling run by isn't going to be as successful. Forcing out a scam. Homeowner is going to be pushing. He is moving out with a death bull of an army. Homeowner is up in army supply. Bear that in mind. Ultras are on the way, but they need more time. Eric, he needs to try to slow this down. And how do we slow it down? The run by style. Oh, the Sim City though. Fusion, fusion quarter wall off. But this time, Homeowner, he's ready back at home. Homeowner is going to be backing up for a moment. But here come the Vipers. Here come the Blinding Clouds. Ultras from behind. Ling Bane from the front. Yeah, 4 tanks. They get caught out. A big overextension here by Honmono. Taking some damage to the face. But we can't. I don't think we can push in. The Wiles. They take down another tank. Ooh, Eric bleeding out a lot of Lings. We have 5 more Ultras in production. And Homeowner, he lost far too much here. Looking at the battle report, that was 6 tanks going down. We're down to only 2. Homeowner making 2 tanks at a time, trying to rebuild, trying to reestablish his army. Still no 4th CC. It's so late here, actually, for Homeowner. Surprisingly late. He was so quick to expand last game. But here, yeah, this CC still finishing. There we go, Eric. Just remaxing, working on 3-3. Halfway done. Spreading his creep, taking the gold base. He's going to be checking here for some ninja bases or for a 4th, and he's going to be pleasantly surprised that there is no expansion. There is no CC. And Honomono, he has to turtle. There's no other way around it. He has to turtle here on 4 bases. And because Viper has... Sorry, Viper? Because Eric has Vipers, he has the ability to break this position. Without them, it would be difficult, but with them, it's a different story. You know, the first couple of lightning clouds have been thrown down. Even on the Bio Army, we yoink the tank! That's what, 3 tanks going down. At the same time, the Ultra counterattack here at the 3rd base. The Bailings do not... Oh, they kind of connect. It's going to be 17 dead workers. The base is on fire. We collapse on the Ultras. Sorry, on the base itself as well, the planetary. And we don't break the planetary, but we get 23 SCVs. Oh my god. And it's just an uphill battle for the Terran. No! No shot! A kill on the 3rd base. Oh my god, just nothing going home on his way here. Being pulled apart, he's gonna have to lift up his main at this point and drop it as his 3rd. He's running out of money, running out of resources. Double Spire, Greater Spire for Broodlords. Rocks are being knocked down so we can kind of traverse between the 2 sides of the map, just in case. And Eric has been in control of this game for quite some time. Here we go. Getting ready to collapse here. We have some libs, we have some ghosts for EMPs. If we can let... Oh! The snipes even! The snipes on the Ultras! But the Ling Bane crashes on forward. No EMPs on the Vipers. Good trade for Eric. At the same time, a big Ling Ultra counterattack. We get into the middle line. This is the main base, by the way, that was floated over. We have limited scans, only 2 orbitals left. Can we pick off some of these tanks? Even some libs. almost reminding me of Eric versus Xingming, game number 2. Almost. Where Homeowner, he's surviving, he's trying to hold on, but God, he's just been losing his economy left and right. Good snipes. Catches the last ultra. Do we have a scan available? We do have one scan available, but at the same time we collapse you on the planetary. That's going to be a kill in the CC. Homeowner knocked down to 2 bases. 2 bases left, 1 actually landed. And it's not going to be enough. Eric picking up a couple of ghosts. Homeowner, he just wants another base. He's gonna have to land his main as his 4th. Now his 2nd base, I guess. Here we go, we're going for a massive dive here on top of these ghosts. Looks like Eric doesn't quite have the numbers to break this position, but good enough baiting the connections. And here come the reinforcements. Eric wants to end it here and now. Coming in from behind, he gets us around. The final tank will fall. GG gets called, and Eric will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Eric will take it. Will advance on 2-1 over Homeowner, but that was a pretty intense series. And here in game number 3, Eric did get a lot of momentum, and he was far more greedier in this game. Remember that, Eric, this game, he was droning up heavily, he was double expanding. A very different Eric than I'm used to, honestly. A very different Eric was seen here, much more macro-oriented, showing us that he can and looks strong doing so as well. And Homeowner was, yeah, just a little bit caught off guard by that, was kind of on the back foot for moments at the beginning because of the lane counterattack, because of the aggression of his opponent. And yeah, Homeowner, he had a harder time getting into his 3-base setup and took a very long time to get into his 4-base setup as well. So GG, well played. Eric will advance on, and we have 2 series left. We have the lower bracket finals and the grand finals thereafter. We have some updates. Demi did eliminate Xingming from the tournament. So up next is going to be Homeowner versus Demi in the lower bracket finals to determine who faces off against Eric in the grand finals. As you can see, so we have 2 series left. We are going to be going on a short break. I need some water. I'm dehydrating. I need a moment. So we need a moment here to get set up. But we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have a rematch. Homeowner versus Demi. We will see you soon. Enjoy the duct tapes. Oh my god. Immortal?
Immortal? Gonna get
Wait,
taken out for free?
What?
No.
It survived?
Yep. Living up to its aim.
It's on 4 HP. It has no right to live, but somehow the Immortal survives. The SCV finished him off. It's got 1 kill. The SCV killed the Immortal.
That is a cinematic goddamn shot.
Oh my god.
SCV atop of a pile of Immortal. Jesus.
Like, that SCV deserves a medal, but like, no one's gonna live to tell the tale. Like, no one's gonna be able to survive long enough to let everyone know that that SCV was a hero.
This Overlord, though, if the Overlord positions to the north of Puppet Panda Space catches a Mutus, that could give it ample time for Numinator to react. But I think even with the, like, yeah, they are going to see their Mutus, but I think he just slows down the Hydroden, right, at this stage.
No, here's the thing, Puppet Panda is showing the Mutalisks, and now they're making Roaches, so the Roaches are going to be the surprise.
God, that's actually wild. I love that.
This is insane.
It's beautiful.
I remember you looking very differently, but you know, it's just, I'm not judging.
Yeah, the camera adds £5, even though last time you saw me was with the camera as well. But
why would the camera pay you? See what I did there? Yeah.
European humor. Hey, Light, do you know why it's got 2,000 atmospheres?
Why is it called 2000 atmospheres, Chase?
Because it's under the sea and there's 2,000 atmospheres of pressure.
But I believe they have their own like studio or like kind of complex where they have all their players rock up and stuff, and it's cool that they do support Ranger the way that they do. Yeah, a lot of the C players, it's cool that they were able to find that support.
Yep. Little community, but very tight knit. It's the best. I love you, Light.
I wasn't expecting that. I love you too, Chase.
Back.
I love you too.
Worst love story than Twilight. Blackburn LE. What does LE stand for, Light? What's it stand for?
LE stands for liquid and danger. What does that mean, Chase?
Ellie was my first high school crush.
Oh my god. Why do you keep bringing her up? Why do you keep bringing her up, Chase?
I'll let her go, man. I can't do it.
Oh my god.
Every time I... That's why I stopped playing tournaments every time I saw Ellie. It reminded me of... But yes, Blackburn. Ladder edition.
Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head.
Ellie edition.
This guy thinks it's ladder edition. Mate. Oh my.
I was maxed out, but I
Yeah,
didn't
we
know
were
what I
both
was hitting.
Yeah, exactly. We were both maxed out, but like we couldn't target fire or anything.
So you can see the big difference here in the teams. If you look at the army value graph, it's we're all pretty much the same here, except for the two Protosses. The two Protosses shoot up, and then one of them plummets to the ground. The other doesn't. You can see here in the graph the players.
Senator, I would like you to, Mr. Judge, I would like you to notice that you...
Exhibit number 1. What is the opposite of stong?
You see,
I
it's
had a
going
bigger
up,
army.
just in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh. And welcome to Biweekly Americas. It is I, Milk and Cookies. Ha! Psych! I'm the host today, not Light. I'm here joined by Light, actually. I had no idea you were counting down. I thought we were still going through that whole, like, oh, you need permission from Ducklings? So I was just like, oh. And I heard your mic beep, and I was like, oh crap, he undeafened and unmuted himself.
What do you want? I asked you if you're ready. You're like, yes.
I was ready, and then you didn't count down right away. So I was like, and then you left. I was like, all right, I guess he left. Like, we're waiting. And I was like, oh, all right then. No, they got to pick up and go. These medevacs are gonna get cleaned up.
Oh, yeah, everything's gonna be going down. The Marauder gets sent down and it's running away because it comes. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those updates from times gone by, as we have returned with the lower bracket finals to determine who faces off against Eric in the grand finals. And here we go, in the top right hand corner of Radisson Station, for the first time in a long time, not vetoed in this best of 3. We have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Hon Mono. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Maturino Esports. It is Demi. We go. Again, this is a bit of a rematch, and for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, what is this tournament? This is the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. This is a region-locked bi-weekly tournament, region-locked to the regions of EBT Americas and EBT Asia as well. So, yeah, if you're from those regions, you can participate, you can be a part of this. And this is the last edition of this year, of 2023, because after this, we have DreamHack Atlanta, we have IEM qualifiers, and of course, Christmas. So, we don't have any more time to actually host these events for the remainder of 2023. It all ends here. If you want to support this tournament and support us coming into 2024, Patreon. Patreon is the place to support us, to help us fund our tournaments, to help us grow them, as Honmono is going for he's going for a third TC. A third TC before Rax, and this is the kind of shenanigans that you can whip out here on a map like Radisson Station. As greedy as possible. I mentioned before, we don't really get to see this map too often because of reasons like this. This is a very unorthodox map in the map pool. Very, very greedy, very defensive, as you have a pocket base. Not just a pocket base, there's no Reaper Cliff leading into your bases either. You have a ramp that you can wall off. You have rocks as well to help with that, and yeah, I mean, just cut all the corners, Bobby. Essentially here on Radisson Station, it's very common to get up to a 3 and even 4 base setup, uncontested. Muta play is viable, but we haven't really seen it have too much success on this map. We've seen a lot of Sky Toss, we've seen a lot of Mech, seen a lot of Macro. A lot of Macro here on Radisson Station. And oh my, we're going for a 4th! We're going for a 3rd TC before Rax and a 4th Rax before Factory! Like, what the hell did I just say? Like, it's never been said before. Oh my god. So a 4th CC before Factory here. This is taking it up to 11 though. Like, you can get away with greed on Radisson Station, but this is out of this world. Thankfully, we don't go for like a 5th base before Factory. Meanwhile, back at home, Demi did go for a hatch gas pool into a 3rd. Link speed is on the way. We're droning. Demi honestly doesn't really have a way to punish this. He can send a couple of links across the map, but they're just going to be scouting links and they can be dealt with quite easily. Fun fact, Homeowner has 0 units. He went for that third CC before the Rax, right? Into Reactor. No Reapers, no Marines, 0 fighting units for Honmono. As greedy as you can be. Oh, did I say Demi from South Korea? Ah. Demi's from India. Sorry, if I said South Korean, sorry, my apologies. That's me being on autopilot. That's my brain having a hard time this Sunday morning. Indian, sorry, my apologies. The brain is gone. Honmono killed it with the 50 Cyclone earlier. Honmono, he's killing it even further with this opener as well. Behind this, getting into his starport, getting into his eBay as well. We have the add-on swap. This is looking like mech. It's looking like, I mean, we're going into a 5th CC. Oh god. We're getting into a 5th command center here after the starport, before the 2nd factory. I'm assuming it's 2 factory here. Like, this is obscene. Oh my god. This is as greedy as you can get. And again, there's no punish from Demi. Demi, he's just droning. He's taking his own 4th base as well, mining to work on his 5th. It's just a race into greed, and I have to say it. Homono, he's beating Demi at the greed game right now. This is crazy. Just the mass amount of mules that we have available. It's it's insane. Behind this, we're getting into our Evo chambers, into our eventually 1-1 upgrades. It's not. It is not mech. I mean, it kind of is. What do we call this? It's Sky Terran. We're not going for a 2nd factory. We're going for 4 more starports and a fusion core. Now, Can Honmono get away? That's a tech lab. Can he get away with making 4 BCs at a time? Can he get away with going 5 CC into mass BC production? That is unheard of. This is crazy. This is actually insane. We're going for the add-on swaps. Yep. Tech labs are on the way. Mass tech lab. We're not going Viking. We're not going Banshee. We are going mass battle cruiser. This is illegal. This is unironically the most illegal build I've ever seen. That's a 5th CC. That's a 6th and a 7th. A 6th and a 7th CC on the way. Oh my god. This is why this map should not be a thing. Meanwhile, Demi's been droning. He's now working on roaches. He's droned up to 75, soon to be 80 workers. 5 base saturation. The problem is that Demi's committed to Roach Ravager, and by the time he gets across the map, Homono, he's gonna have battle cruisers out. Aye. I see in the chat. Imagine if Demi went 12 full. The thing is, 12 full doesn't work on this map. Like 12 full is just, yeah, it's just not a good build on Radisson Station, even against a CC first. So like, yeah, like there's no. That's why you can get away with this on this map. Like you can get away with such greedy play. I should caveat that when I say you can get away with greedy play, you can get away with like a CC first into like a 3rd CC before factory sort of thing. Not this. Like this is crazy. Like this is like ramped up to like 20, not even 11. Like yeah, all the way. This is not StarCraft. And we're just banking BCs. Oh my god. He's gonna get away with it. He can't get away with it, but he will. We have drop alerts on the way. So Demi's pushing. Demi's maxed out. Demi, he's maxed on Roach Ravager. And that's the problem. That's what I'm concerned about. Demi, he's about to go for a big push at 200 supply with Roach Ravager. He's gonna have very limited anti-air. How many BCs are they gonna be? 4 BCs. So the question becomes, how much damage can Demi do before his roaches get cleaned up? How much damage can he deal? How many workers will he kill? As that's how many CCs. I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid. We have 7. That is the 8th and the 9th CC on the way. Here we go. The drop lords into the pocket base. We have a push towards the planetary. Planetary with repair should be able to hold on. But the BCs have to reveal themselves because that's all we have to defend. The roaches, they dive into the pockets. Ravagers towards the planetary. BCs are going to be coming in. No, they go for the base trade. No shot. BCs go for a massive base trade. They go for the lair. So they go for the hive. They go for the lair. Spire has been thrown down in the main. It's all or nothing. Planetary goes down. Pocket base goes down. Chaos ensues. And we need to look for the Spire. The Spire is in production. The Spire is the way out here for Demi. But to be fair, even if the Spire finishes, it may just not be enough. How many BCs? 8 battle cruisers. We scan. We see the Spire. That's going to be the next target. That's going to be what Homeowner needs to snipe. That's the only way back here. Demi doesn't have a lair. If he loses this Spire, that's it. That's game. I mean, yeah, that should be game because we can lift. If Demi loses this Spire, no anti-air, and Homeowner can lift his buildings, the roaches cannot kill him. As SCVs are going down, we snipe the infestation, but the Spire is still alive, but we will get on top of it. Yamato is finishing up. Command centers are lifting. We still have a base mining here, or the potential to mine. We're scanning. Well, we need to make the spawning pool. No, sure, we have to rebuild the spawning pool, then the lair, then the Spire. It's just too much. It's gonna take too long. Homeowner wins. Like as long as Homeowner doesn't lose his BCs to spores, he should be able to take this. And there we go. Another base is going down. Demi is down to 1 mining base. That's all he has left. Hatchery is gonna fall. He does find the last mining base here of Homono, but yeah, he's just mining for his natural. We're pushing it towards the last bastion of hope here for Demi. Yamato is available. There it is. Yamatos are going to be whipped out. And yeah, spores. They're going down one after the other. GG gets caught. There's nothing that Demi can do. After losing his lair, after losing his Spire, Nothing he could do against the mass BC. GG gets called. And the spawning pool as well. What the hell just happened? That was... Oh, oh my god. That was StarCraft. Shouldn't be StarCraft, but that's what it was. Oh my god. GG, well played. What was that? That was 5 CC before Starport into 4 Starports into 8 more CC. Oh, I say 8 more into 3 more CCs after that. It was 8 command centers in total towards the end. It was 8 on a 4 Starport production. That was crazy. With 0 Rax units to defend, he did make 2 Cyclones. There were 2 Cyclones made, I believe, from the factory, which is why I thought it was going to be mech, and that was all that Homeowner had. He had 2 Cyclones and then just mass BC. I'm a little bit stunned. Not gonna lie, a little bit stunned. Let's go. Don't show that to Spirit. He will try to outgreed him. True, true. Spirit would. Oh my god. Yeah. Alright, let's we're getting into this. As we have made the second map, we're getting into game number 2. It's going to be on Oceanborn. Now, Oceanborn, a very different map. We should be seeing a very different game here. Sorry, I didn't even update the score on the screen. I was just so... my brain was still, like, taking it in. It was still trying... It was still trying to discern fantasy from reality, you know? And we're getting there. Here we go. As we're loading into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Indian, not South Korean, Indian Zerg player representing Maturino Esports down in the series, hoping to fly back. It is Demi. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran, living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Hon Mono. I do think do not show that in Terran schools. Oh my god, what have we unleashed into the world? There are some Terran players watching right now that like, yo, if I ever load into Radisson Station on the ladder, I know what I can get away with, but oh no. It was illegal. When it comes to what could have been done there, I do think that the only shot for Demi is for him to have thrown down spires in every base and pray. He would have had need to throw down a spire at every single base and pray that his opponent doesn't that one finishes. Pray that one spire finishes, and even then, that isn't a guarantee, because even then, the corruptors, even if a spire finishes, they come out from bases one at a time. He would have had limited lava because hatcheries were dying. By the time the spire would have finished, I believe the main would have been dead, the natural would have been dead, the third base would have been dead. Demi would have been down to 2 hatcheries worth of larva, and on top of that, Homeowner would have been camping the hatcheries as well. So even if a spire finished, there's no guarantee that Demi would have survived, because yeah, like, bearing in mind that the spires would have, we would have had to invest gas into the spires, which meant the bank of Demi would have been much lower because it would have had less minerals and less gas to work with. Like, I'm just trying to theorize it myself. There would have been a chance. It would have been a chance, but no guarantee, just because of how many BCs and all the Yamatos as well. That was disgusting. So we're getting his game. You can tell that my brain is still trying to process what happened in the last game, and we're getting there. We're getting there. For now, though, Hatchgas full standard opener out of Demi. Likewise, we have a 3rd CC for Starport out of Homono. Standard opener as well. This should be leading into a 3CC 2-on-1. This should be leading into Bioplay, which is what Homono does prefer to go for. So this should be leading into a standard game, something more normal, something more sane. For now, though. pray to Santa Maria, buddy. Pray. Oh no! As I assumed that this was going to be a 3CC into 2-on-1. No, that is a 2nd factory. This time it's going to be proper mech. No mass BC, no mass Starport play. We're getting to a 2nd factory here into Cyclones. Oh boy. It's going to be mech here on Oceanborn. Once again. Not the first time we've seen this. And most likely not the last. Meanwhile, Demi back at home, just still saturating his bases, getting into a 3-base setup. This makes me want to unveto. Oh, no. Not like this. Oh my god! Honmono! He's crazy! What did we see? He lifted up his factory, he floated it away to avoid the Overlord Scout. We still threw down a Roach one. I think Demi still saw the... I think he still saw the factory. I think he saw it floating, but he still saw it nonetheless. So I'm pretty sure Demi is still aware of the mech, but that was wild. to float the factory away to avoid the Scout. That is not something you see every day. Not something you see every day. As for now, again, we do see Homono working on his 4th command center, working on Blue Flame. Interesting here, because Blue Flame is on the way, he's not going into Cyclones. A little bit supply blocked, but he's not going into Cyclones. He's going Hellion Tank, a more traditional form of mech. Interesting. Now with this, of course, it's going to have a heavier tank composition. These Hellions are going to be a little bit lackluster, I feel. The Hellions, their goal here is to avoid the Roaches and to get into a mineral line. But Roaches are on the way, and Roaches, they should shut this down. As long as we have enough of them, as long as they're in position. So here we go. Hellions are moving out. Going for a big counterattack. Again, the goal here to try to avoid these queens. Blue Flame has been revealed. Yeah, we ignore the queens. We go straight for the mineral line. There are Roaches in position, and the Lings, they come in for a surround. Oh, Homono, he committed so much to this dive, and he loses everything. Ay, that is 10 dead Hellions. For what? For Lings. He got 1 drone. 1 worker went down. That was not worth it for Homono. Gets completely cleaned up. And this is a good moment here for Demi. Demi is able to saturate his bases, get his 4th without any issues. Spire is on the way for some Muta play. Demi's aware of the mech. Because he went Hellion Tank instead of Cyclone Tank, Mutas have potential. Now, what I will say though is that we do have a transition into Cyclones. We do have, of course, Hurricane Thrusters in production. Cyclones on the way. Cyclones, they actually do a much better job against Mutas. They do surprisingly well at shutting them down as long as they're able to get within range. That's the thing. Mutas are more maneuverable, so they can break the lock-on. But if they ever have a fight, if they ever get caught, then these Cyclones will just make short work of them. Oh god. As yeah, we do see the Spire still in production. Demi is still unaware of the transition from his opponent. He is fanning out some Lings to scout any move out, but he hasn't seen the composition yet. He doesn't know about, and he should recognize that Cyclones should be on the way. as we're committed to range upgrades. So looks like Demi is going to be going for a Roach Ravager heavy composition, but he has access to mutas if he ever needs them. Scan into the main, reveals both Evo Chambers upgrading. So Homeowner, he's aware of the ground army. As we saw before, Mass Cyclone is, again, kind of the bread and butter here of this new kind of style of mech. It's going to be 9 mutas in production, but only 9 mutas. We're still investing gas elsewhere. So these mutas are going to be designed to harass and try to pick away at workers. This natural base is looking very exposed, by the way. You can see there are turrets, but these turrets are in position to deny tunneling claw roaches. These are to defend against roaches trying to sneak in undetected, not designed to defend the mineral lines. So Homeowner clearly has something else on the mind. He's clearly wary of roaches, not mutas. And it makes sense because he hasn't seen the Spire. He's not aware. So these mutas, they can actually get quite a bit done, and we're investing a little bit harder. We have 5 more mutas on the way. That's going to be 14 mutas in total. Oh, a gaggle of mutas. Let's go. Cyclones, they rotate around to clean up quite a number of those spotterlings. I feel like we gotta go though. We gotta pull the trigger with these mutas. How many mutas do we have? We're up to 18. We're making 10 more. We're doubling down. We do have a ground army, that is true, but we are committed so hard to this, and so far, it's gonna pay off. So far, Homeowner has no idea what is happening. It's a Hail Mary play here for Demi, but has potential. Demi has maxed out. We're getting into additional tank production. Cyclones are moving out to establish the space. Here go the mutas. How many in total? 28. 28 mutas are moving out. Scan into the natural. Does spot the Spire. Sees it researching. We know. He now knows about the mutas, but is it too little too late? Turrets are still not on the way. We can see the ground army trying to distract Honmono. And the mutas, they go right for the CC, right for the natural. Turret's going to be going down. 14, 15 SCVs in the blink of an eye. An entire mineral line just crumbles. As we rotate back around, we get a tank. We cannot fight those Cyclones, though. We have to respect them. But that's 16 dead SCVs, a pretty good amount of damage. And how many mutas did we lose? 2. 16 SCVs for 2 mutas. I don't... but we're getting caught out. We commit to the fight, and we're going to try and trade with these Cyclones. Cyclones going to try and kite away. They drag them into mines. Oh my god, massive mine connections. The mutas, they get annihilated. That was not the fight to take. Ay, ay, ay. That was 16 dead mutas. Dead in that fight. And Demi just lost his momentum. He had a good start, but a rough finish. And now Homeowner's going for a big counterattack. As we mentioned before, mutas cannot fight this head-on, not by themselves. They need support. We do have some Lingbane on the ground. Homeowner, he's pushing forward into Widow Mines. Drilling Claws is on the way. And Homeowner's maxed out. Snowballing out of control. This hatchery should go down. Demi's going to try to engage. He needs to trade. He's got 4k minerals in the bank. He knows he has to throw away some of these lings. Ooh. Mine shot's going to be going off the mutas. Yeah, they melt against this. Oh my god. That is 32 dead mutas. We have 14 left. As Homeowner just stutter steps his way forward. Again, this is one of the new changes to the Cyclone, and that is that they do a much better job fighting mutas head-on compared to the previous one. You can see the Lings, they try to engage here. They try to close the distance. Good use of the terrain here from Honmono. Hiding back to the mines. The Widow Mines. No. Ooh, massive connections. And Demi loses everything. Everything does go down. Oh, I have to say this. As we do have the Cyclones collapsing on this army. GG gets called again. Demi banking it all on those mutas. Did well initially, but things very quickly turn on the tables there, and Homeowner will take a 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Homeowner will take the 2-0. There was potential there for Demi. He did so well initially when the mutas were revealed, but chasing and trying to fight those Cyclones head on, that was the mistake. That was the mistake that Demi made, and not just that, but of course being dragged into the mines. He wasn't aware of the Widow mines at the time, and with that, Homeowner, he snowballed out of control into a win there, and he is going to the grand finals. We will have a best of 5 rematch between Homeowner and Eric. Let's go. Let us go. You do need a moment here to set things up and to get things going. And I wonder, was Eric watching? Was he watching? As yeah, we do quickly go over quickly go over the bracket here. Again, Eric has been patiently waiting in the grand finals, and because Eric comes into the finals from the upper bracket, Eric has a 1-point advantage. Already, Eric is up 1-0. It's going to be on Homeowner to fight back to try to claw his way back into those finals. Eric needs 2 wins, Homeowner needs 3. Likewise, for the finals, predictions will be open. I did forget, I apologize, I did forget to open up the predictions for the lower bracket finals. I've been having a shaky start today. I'm a little bit tired. So I do apologize for that. But predictions will be getting ready here. So you can place your bets in the chat for who you think is going to be this week's, not just this week's champion, but the final Turtle Tussle champion for the year, for 2023. I mentioned before, but this is going to be our last edition for this year, because next week we have DreamHack Atlanta. Sorry, next week we have IM Katowice qualifiers. We have DreamHack Atlanta itself. We have WTL. Just yeah, there are just all these other major premier events going on. Homestar Cup is this weekend, of course, and we don't have time to actually host our events before Christmas. So this is going to be the last Tenacious Turtle Tussle of the year. I believe next week is going to be our last Sparkly Tuna Cup of the year. Like all of our tournaments are wrapping up here at the year's end. So yeah, that is on the way. And again, if you want to support these tournaments, !Patreon or !Matcherino in the chat. Both links do provide the Patreon page and the Matcherino page. And yeah, they're a way to help support this tournament. You can see our goals just underneath the challenge brackets. Via Patreon, we basically are able to community fund 2/3 of our tournaments. We spend 300 USD a month, and thanks to our Patreon, 200 of that is covered, so we do appreciate it. The rest of the money comes from basically Twitch subscriptions. All of our Twitch money goes back into our tournaments here to actually fund them and make our tournaments a reality. We do have goals on Patreon to make our tournaments into weeklies and even pay out top 4. Right now we only pay out top 2, so that's kind of where we are at. So yeah, if you're interested, Patreon is the place to be. You can also gain replay packs from our tournament, so you can learn how to play like Homeowner. You can get that Radisson Station replay of Homeowner going for the greediest play possible, going mass BC on Radisson Station. That replay can be yours if you are a patron or a subscriber. We also give replay packs to our subscribers here on Twitch as well. So either or. Here we go. As the players just conducting the video, so we're going to be going on a short break. Here. Going to be going over some of those duct tapes from times gone by, and when we return, we'll have the finals, a best of 5, and Gamba. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a good duct tape. Okay, here we go. We'll see you soon. And again, for those wondering who may be tuning in for the first time and aren't too familiar with these players, Shelby, he is a pretty good Peruvian player. He's a streamer as well. He's streaming his POV.
Dios mío, Dios mío, Dios mío. Men, ¿qué me quiere pushar con 4 Belin, 3 mutas? ¡Corre, Forest! No lo dejen ir. ¡Ah! ¡No! ¡Oh! ¡Te pasaste de ver!
But he also looks after the convenience store when his parents aren't around. So he's currently competing, playing, and also looking after the store, and he needs to pause whenever there's a customer.
What I want to know is how far does he have to go? You know, like, is it like downstairs, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I think it's a flight of stairs. He has to get down a flight of stairs.
you're like a customer. You're like in the, waiting. You know, ding, and then you hear. He's like, he's like straight up running down.
every now and then, it's like you hear him fall.
Waiting for him to like trip and fall. But I agree, he needs to like set up a camera like at the counter.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, just like. And then he runs back. Does he like wait for the customer to leave, or is like after he does the money exchange, he just books it up?
For those wondering, I did wake up like 20 minutes before the broadcast, and then took 10 minutes to set up the stream, and then just went and I quickly grabbed some water to wake up.
Do I need to like Uber Eats you some breakfast?
Oh, no, because then I would have to leave the cast and go get the food.
Your door's not that far, right? Like, listen, if
Yaku?
if Shelby can go attend his goddamn store while he plays the tournament, you can probably go pick up some food at your front door, while you're casting. It's totally fine, dude.
Oh god, fucking Shelby, man. I love him so much. I wish he was here. Die as well. Ooh, can you finish?
What's your shot?
Oh,
That's so BM.
it's 99% done.
That's so mean.
That's
not good. No, just leave it. Go in.
It's so
Nina,
close.
just go in. Just leave it alone.
No, she wants
guy's-
to. The SCV's coming. It's coming.
No, the guy's already down. You can't get on the floor.
The SCV's he's gonna finish it. He did it.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
Right?
Oh my god. It's alive. He saved it. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew. We have returned here with the grand finals of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 14. This is where it all ends. This is where it all does come to an end here. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris, we have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Hyper 1. It is the challenger looking for his revenge. It is Hon Mono. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings, going for a gas pool opener. It is Eric. Oh, we're actually going for a proxy. Okay, we have a gas pool here from Eric. Likewise, we have a proxy 3 racks here from Hon Mono. So the cheese is upon us. We saw this earlier against Demi, as in Hon Mono going for a proxy 3 racks, going for proxy Marines. Meanwhile, Eric back at home is going for a faster gas into faster Lings, I imagine. Yeah, Ling speed is on the way. Eric, both players rolling the dice. I feel like Eric comes out on top here. I feel like Eric has the better opener to shut down something like, or something aggressive like a proxy 3 racks. But we'll see. We'll see how this all comes together. We will see how this all comes to fruition. As Lings are going to be moving out. Going to be we're scouting as well. Oh my god, we are going to be checking. He doesn't check. He does check the near third base. He does check here right next to the gas geysers, but doesn't go all the way. Doesn't confirm what exactly is going on. SCV does come in for a scout. Does confirm the pull first. And we are going straight for a Bane Nest. We're going for a Bane Bust even. Oh my god. I'm curious how this plays out. I do think that Homono denies the natural. But how many Lings are we going to have to work with? As your Overlord is now going to confirm that the proxy is upon us, and here come the Marines. Oh, Eric is going to confirm that the proxy is upon us. Yeah, he does see that the Raxes are missing. And Lings are on the way. Again, I don't think Eric has to try to fight for control of his natural. Especially with that Bailey Nest. Now, Homono, he did scout the Bailey Nest. He's aware. He's going for the Overlord. Ooh, a big pick-off. Overlord is going to go down. As Lings are going to try and set up a surround as well. We collapse on the army. And is this going to be good enough? We do end up trading here. A lot of Marines are going down. Oh my god, and with reinforcements, we barely do clean this up. A big surround here from Eric. He shuts down the Marines. Bunker does finish though. But that was a big loss for Honmono. As Eric's supply block, losing that Overlord earlier was huge. The hatchery does finish. We do have a little bit more supply to work with. Ling's going to try to catch some reinforcements. Good control here from Eric. He does pick up one more Marine. Just every Marine counts. Additional Queens are on the way. Again, that supply block was massive. 12 Lings in production. Banelings are on the way. And this hatchery is going to fall. Again, we mentioned before that the hatchery was unlikely to be saved, but it's about whether or not Eric can recover from this. As Banelings are waddling on forward and they're looking to connect. Oh my god, they go straight for the Marines even. They take them down. Miscontrol out of Honmono. He did end up exposing his army. The bunkers don't have to be dealt with. And this is huge. This is massive, actually. Reapers are on the way. So far, the Reapers, they will manage to escape. Bunkers are going to be salvaged. I spoke too soon. Both Reapers do get hunted down. We're doubling down on additional Reaper production. Meanwhile, across the map, Eric, he can commit to his bust. And he's flooding his Lings across the map. He already has a 1-point lead. He only needs one more. We have a secondary wall. Going for a massive eBay wall off instead. Bunkers. eBay's on the way. The Reapers are racing back home. Homono realizes what's going on, and we should be able to break through. Break through the first wall, but what about the second? Homono massively supply blocked. We're trying to break through that eBay, and it looks like we can. Looks like we should. Yeah, as the eBay goes down, it's a kill, not a cancel. Bunkers did finish. Oh my god, an insane supply block. As Eric is expanding behind this, he's droning as well. SCVs, they try to go for a surround. They do actually. They surround one of those bunkers, but they don't get the second. That Reaper count is getting surprisingly high. It's a little bit concerning. CC is on the way, calling down supply, trying to break free from the supply block. As the Lings are trying to catch these reinforcements. How many Reapers are we up to? 8. 8 Reapers on the way from Honmono. Production is lifted, and Homeowner is going to try and stabilize. He's going into mech here on one base. Meanwhile, Eric has a lot of droning to do. As I say that, he's making more Lings. He has a lair on the way as well, so it looks like he wants the Bane bust, but the lair is coming out of left field. The lair is Oh no, the predictions. Sorry, I apologize. I forgot about the predictions. Predictions open. We're going no shot. Okay, the wall off is about to be thrown down. Eric isn't going to be committing. We're taking this moment to breathe. We can see 2 CCs on the way, the natural and the third. 3 factories as well, getting into all these add-ons. Honmono going to be working towards, I imagine, Cyclone production on 1 base. But the Massling! Massling's going to be coming in. We do have a full wall off, so Eric can't really push in. I'm a little bit concerned that he thinks that he's denying add-ons when, again, it's a mech transition, not bio, and Eric doesn't know. He doesn't know that denying these add-ons doesn't really matter at the moment. Does catch a couple of Reapers. Cyclones have yet to reveal themselves. Mutas are on the way. But going Mass Cyclone against Muta, this is a good thing for Honmono. Cyclone has revealed itself. One of them. And Eric, I feel like he's kind of trapped here. There's nowhere to go. Boys are being pulled. Eric, he has to fight. He has to stand his ground. And the Lings do get cleaned up. Good control out of Honmono. Meanwhile, Eric rushing into Mutas. There's nothing that can really deal with this, like, at least stationary. Like, there's no turrets thrown down. Not yet, so turrets are now on the way. We do scan the natural. We get eyes on the gases. Turret is on the way. These Mutas are going to have a hard time finding damage. What do we have? We have 6 Mutas available for Eric. Third CC has been spotted. Additional factories. Eric is now aware of the mech. Oh! Honmono will back off. Or Eric will back off. And from here, roaches are on the way. So Eric, he isn't overcommitting into Mutas. Thankfully, he only made 6. Not the biggest investment. He's just looking to contain. And after a chaotic start, Honmono is stabilized. At this point, 100%. He is under no threat of dying anytime soon. He's getting his third base up and running. It's going to be on Eric to saturate his own third and to delay the third base of Honmono for as long as possible. It's going to be on Eric here. But here comes the push, and this is concerning. Eric, he's not ready for this. Yeah, the massive amount of cyclones here. I think it's too much. The Mutas are getting caught out. Not like this. As Honmono, he does take down an Overlord. There's barely a standing army here for Eric. No roaches, only Ling Bane. Big shout out to Colossal Gulp. Thank you so much for the raid, Papi. Yeah. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good ladder session. Hope the smudge was minimal. As the Mutas are going to be harassing across the map, they will get cleaned up. At the same time, here comes Honmono. We're looking for a big surround. Oh, Eric trying to collapse, but alas, it just wasn't lined up too well. Eric has to retreat. Oh yeah, even these Lings get caught out. Just the trades have been just too in favor of Honmono. Catching some of these Overlords. Eric, he desperately needs to do some kind of counter damage. He does get into the mineral line. He's going to be able to pick off some SCVs. Does force back the army. Could even catch a Cyclone. Ooh. As friendly fire, as the mine shots go off, no friendly fire was forced. And Honmono, he can commit here to his push. We have 20 Cyclones now for Honmono. And Eric has to rely on these Infestors. They're on the way, but they need time. We have to be very conservative with these vials. We need to try and slow down this army, force it back. Bailing's getting picked off, and we just don't have the numbers. Don't have the numbers, not anymore. It looks like Homeowner, he just may have too much. Here come the Infestors, here comes a Fungal, but yeah, there's no follow-up. Homeowner is snowballing out of control. He shuts down the army. Shuts down the Roaches, the Ravagers, the Infestors, and Homeowner will be taking, or I mean, he should be able to take down this third. That's going to be 16 dead workers. GG gets called, and Honmono takes game 1. GG. GG, well played. Just gonna be leaving a message. Huh. Beautiful. So we're getting into our next game, and so far we're in a title series. Sorry, I was just talking to them about servers. Originally we were going to be alternating servers back and forth, because I assumed that Eric's ping would be better on Central, but I may have made a mistake with that assumption. Regardless, we're getting into our next game. We are getting into game number 2 on Alcyone. We are tied up 1-1 here in this series. Let's go. And now we're getting into Alcyone. And we'll see who's able to take a lead here in this series. It's still best of 5. Plenty of games are ahead of us. Plenty of games to come. Now we can focus on the games themselves. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. It is Eric. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan representing Team Hyper 1. It is Honmono. Here we go. I thought Honmono was dead. This is not the first time. This happened against Demi as well, where even if Honmono has a failed proxy 3 racks, if he's able to stabilize on one base, like he is able to get into, or he's so quick to go into mass cyclone production, and from there he can snowball out of control. Like he's very good at just transitioning out of proxy 3 racks. Did it against Eric in that last game, did it against Demi as well. You can never die when you have mules. True, true. But a lot of that also did come down to the Spire transition. As we saw, the mutas weren't really able to achieve too much. And I think this is a really smart play here, actually, from Honmono. It is going to be a hatch pool opener here from Eric. It's going to be, I believe, a 15-15. Yep, 15-15 opener here from Eric. So he's going to have faster queens, but delayed gas, delayed link speed. And Honmono is committing once again to a proxy 3 racks. As we saw before, even if this gets cleaned up, as long as we're able to shut down the natural, then Honmono can, of course, transition out of it. But on top of that, just because Eric did go 2-ace muta and his opponent was going to mass cyclone, the mutas, they weren't really the best option there. They didn't really pay for themselves. It was an expensive tech choice from Eric that just did not pay off. As here comes the SCV Scout confirming the hatch first. Likewise, Eric is getting across the map, trying to get a read on what's going on. There it is, the bunker has been revealed. Ooh, spine crawlers on the way. But the rest of these SCVs are about to reveal themselves as well. Again, Eric's still in the dark. And now he knows. Now he's aware. Oh, and holding onto this natural is going to be a difficult thing to pull off. Yeah, additional workers are being pulled. And we're going to try and dive on this army. We're going to try and shut down these SCVs. One of them's going to go down, but we still have 3. Ooh, we still have 2 left. Soon to be 1 left. Homono a little bit careless here. He needs to keep these SCVs alive. As the spine crawler has completed and every single SCV goes down, Eric, he holds on to his natural. Am I getting ahead of myself? The queen did go down. Oh, the boys are just barely trying to hold on, but the spine crawler is exposed. We need our lings. We need our lings, Papi. And there we go. They do come out in time, but 7 drones went down. That was a big blow to the economy of Eric. Oh, Eric is hurting. Down to 13 drones compared to Homemono, who's on 17, and there's his transition. We have a CC on the high ground. Eric trying to force this back, trying to trade, going for another spine crawler. That means that Eric is down to 12 drones. The economic damage on its own may just be too much. And Homemono, he's snowballing out of control. Gets on top of the ling, forces a cancel on the spine crawler without a spine crawler. And with this economy, like again, I mentioned before that typically when you defend against, oh, that's we're coming down with another queen. Typically when you defend against something like a 3-racks, trying to hold on to this natural is just so greedy. It's so difficult to pull off. We get us around. We try to, but there's too much DPS. There's too much man with gun. Oh, we have a transfuse available. Another spine crawler's on the way. Economically, Homemono snowballing out of control here, getting up to 22 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, the queen! God, high energy queen is barely going to be saved here. We do have a clutch transfuse. Ah. But the queens are going down. We're down to 1. And it looks like Eric, he has the room to drone. And he has a lot of droning to do. It's been a very tough hold here. Across the map, we're getting into a 3rd CC as well. Homemono, oh my god. With this 3rd CC, you can even try to take the gold. Like, there's a lot available here for Homemono. He's achieved so much with this proxy. He's racing back home. And how is Eric going to come back here? How are we going to try to bounce back in this game? Oh, that is the question. There's that factory on the way. Raxes are being floated over back home as well. Eric forced to invest into a 2nd spine crawler. And he's been able to drone up to 20. Still down 10 workers. He's at least forcing some inefficient mining. This is pretty important, actually. So he does get eyes on the 3rd base. Sorry, on the natural. Eric does get supply blocked. And I'm really curious if Homemono goes into mech again, or if he goes into something a little bit different. There's going to be a tech lab on the way, starport as well. This could be for an add-on swap to get into battle cruisers. Scan into the main reveals the lack of lair, the lack of gas. And Eric, he's still recovering. It's just a really, really brutal position. And the problem for Eric is that he's not really fully aware of what comes next. That's going to be a 4th CC on the way. That's how far ahead Homemono is. As Eric works on a 3rd base, Homemono is working on a 4th. Additional Rax is on the way. Yep, it is going to be Fusion Core. It is going to be BCs. Now, I assumed it was going to be an add-on swap into BCs, but we're going for a safety tank first before the add-on swap. Which makes sense. Because we have to wait for the Fusion Core to finish first. Fusion Core's finishing. Liking's on the way. Ooh, and we're going to be going into 2-port BC. Double starport production. Triple starport production even. Mass BC here from Homemono. And if Eric doesn't scout this, We saw this kill Demi earlier, and it's going to happen again. Eric needs to get a read on what's going on. The problem with Mass BC here is that, again, if you don't see it coming ahead of time, it's so difficult to react in time to deal with them, because getting into a Spire, getting into even a Hydrogen, a Panic Hydrogen, like, it's just, it takes time. It does take time to get going. Meanwhile, Eric, he's stuck on Hatch Tech, stuck droning. Three starports are on the way. There's that Bailey nest, and thankfully we do at least have a lair in production that will help, but we're really heavily reliant on the scouts. Once the lair finishes, we should be sending out an overseer across the map, but it's too late. It's too late for the overseer to see this, because the BCs are on the way. And how many queens do we have available? We have 6 queens. That is enough to deal with 1 battle cruiser. We have some safety spores on the way, thankfully. Safety spore crawlers are in production, but the BCs are just being banked up back at home. Just banking them up 3 at a time. 4th base is being landed on location. 4th base on the way for Eric. Eric has no reason to assume that he's going to need a Spire right now. And after the failed mutas in the last game, he's unlikely to throw in a Spire as well. Until he sees something. Infestation Pit's on the way. Eric, he's just teching. Lair is done. We need an Overseer. we need an Overseer now. We need to try to go for a Scout. As we are up to 2 battle cruisers, now 3, soon to be 4. Soon to be 6. Oh boy. Thankfully, we're still making queens. How many queens are we up to? 8 queens. Thankfully for Eric, there's no Yamato. We do see a scan into the main base. There is no Yamato on the way. If there was, then I do think that Homono can just kind of A-move across the map. He can just kill everything. Without Yamato, it's going to be more of a back and forth here, but we're about to have as many BCs as there are queens, and that's critical mass. That's far too much. Yeah, now we're teleporting across the map. I think this may just end the game here. 4 battle cruisers, 5 battle cruisers. They dive on in. Clutch transfuse here on this spore crawler. The spore goes down, and now we can focus down every single one of these queens. There is no answer. There is nothing that can deal with this. We have a couple of Ravagers that can try to bow this down, but the infestation bit will fall. We get a fungal. Ugh, but the splits are too good. And this is going to be giving Homono a lead in this series. We can see that Eric is trying to muster up his defense series, trying to go for 1 Hail Mary fungal and a Bile combo. That's the only chance, the only way. But with the pre-splits, the pre-split here, 1 BC goes down. Oh god, as we take down 15 workers, 17 drones. BCs are getting low, but we mule, we can repair. And additional BCs coming to reinforce. It took so much to kill 1 battle cruiser, and we are on 7. At the same time, we're going for a counterattack, but we have Planetary. Planetary holds. Planetary will not go down to this army. And GG is going to get called. Honmono takes a lead in the series. GG. Again, a very strong start for Honmono. A very strong start. Was able to, yeah, look pretty powerful in that last game, just because of his proxy 3-racks. His proxy 3-racks did a lot of economic damage. A lot of economic damage was dealt. He was able to get a lead as a result. Remember, Eric was knocked down to 12 drones. 12 drones against the 22 of Honmono. That's how much damage that dealt. That's also why typically against a proxy 3-racks, you give up your natural. You give up your natural base and you defend on 1 base. Instead, Eric, he was a little bit greedy, just trying to hold on to his natural base as well, and did lose too much in the process. Queens, lings, drones. Ooh, was a big blow there. Big blow. And with that, we are going to be getting into potentially the final game of the series. Potentially. As homeowner, he needs one more. Uno más. One more win here. One more game to become our champion. Has Homeowner won a Tenacious Turtle Tussle before? I know he's won a GPO. I'm pretty sure that has happened. Let me just double check. There have been 14 of these. 14 Tenacious Turtle Tussles, and Honmono, he has. He did win number 9 against Nice in the finals. So, not his first championship, but he may be opting for a second. Likewise, Eric is also a TTT champion. But here we go, we're getting into this, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have our Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings going for a 15 hatch. I'm pretty sure. It is Eric. Oh, he's not canceling. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going for a proxy once again, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Hyper 1. It is Hon Mono. Not gonna just be one. We have a second and a third SCV on the way. It's gonna be a proxy 3 racks, once again 3 games in a row. Very powerful opener here from Hon Mono. As we saw, it can do a devastating amount of damage. Now, Eric is going for a gas first once again. Very similar to game 1. He's going to be going gas pool hatch. A very aggressive opener. He's going to be rushing into link speed. If you remember, game 1, Eric did handle this relatively well. He was able to go into a counterattack. I do believe that it was the follow-up Spire that did kill Eric in the end, just because it was just so much resources investing into 6 mutas, into the Spire, into the gases, into everything involved, and it just did not pay off. So maybe Eric is thinking the same. Maybe he's also thinking that against this guy it may be worth just going for link speed first into a Bane Nest. Yep, same opener as game number 1. We'll see if the execution is that much better for Eric. For now, getting into those 3 Raxes. Gonna be forcing Eric back for a moment. SCVs have been revealed. And based on the movement here of Eric, he is kind of zoning back this army. He's kind of denying any kind of bunker play, but there we go, the bunker has been thrown down. No expansion from Eric, by the way, staying on 1 base. And we'll see if he can shut this down. So far, good movement out of Hon Mono, using these Raxes here to just avoid the surround. Sorry, using the bunkers to avoid the surround. And Hon Mono is in a really rough place. These bunkers, I think they're going to finish. We can see Eric is going to try to catch some reinforcements. He does get 2 Marines. Oh, doesn't get the third. A little bit of miscontrol there. Does pull back at the wrong moment. Trying to come in for a surround once again. He does clean up the Marines, though. Every single Marine goes down. Big pickups here. Link speed kicking in. And we do force a salvage. Eric can expand. Whew. That was intense. But Eric basically, he was able to catch the Marines before they got to the bunker. And now he's going for a counterattack. Gases are being taken. Homono amassing his Marine army. Not rushing back home. Eric still focusing on link production, hasn't droned, and is going for a Bane Bust. Now, the last time we saw this, Homono did go for an eBay wall, but he had a better economy last time. He was better prepared. This time the Bane Bust is upon us. And we should have enough to break through. These depots getting very low. And it will fall. The Banelings, they crash into the mineral line. Links have busted in as well. The boys, they have to be pulled. No! The boys have to be pulled. SCVs are going down, and Homono is completely all in. We have a Spine Crawler on the way. We have to pull the boys. The Lings, they try to engage. Banelings are rolling in. Up! Do connect. We somewhat connect. And is that enough? It looks like we're buying enough time. The Spine Crawler will finish. Very little mining here from the Terran. With the Spine Crawler complete, Homeowner, he can maybe deal with the natural, but he cannot push up into the main as the Spine Crawler is repositioning. Lings, they have arrived. He's going for what little is left. Crippling the economy. And here comes a surround. Eric shutting this down, hard countering this in a way, actually, with his build of choice, with his delayed natural base. You can see Homeowner trying to get into Reaper production across the map. No economy. Zero economy. Reapers are falling left and right. There's almost nothing left. GG gets called, and Eric ties up the series 2-2. We're going to the ace match. We are going all the way to game 5. GG, well played. Oh boy, the question becomes, does Homeowner go for a proxy 3-axe again? Or does he go for something different? And the question becomes, does Eric go for a gas first again to try to hard counter it? The mind games are real. The mind games are upon us. What do we go for? What do we go for? Early morning StarCraft. Best StarCraft. Oh, it is very early morning. I mean, I guess if you're in Europe, I think Europe's just waking up. Dzień dobry. Good morning, good morning. I believe the Americas should be going to bed around this time. And here in Australia, it's middle of the day. It's afternoon. Here we go. Here we go. It all ends here. The final game of the series. Game 5. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings, tying up the series 2-2. It is Eric. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran, living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Homeowner. Eric going for a 14 hatch. It's going to be a 14-14 out of Eric. Homeowner this time keeps his SCV at home and keeps his racks at home. Homeowner, he has been going for a proxy 3-racks every game in this series. And after seeing it fail, after seeing Eric hard counter it in that last game, he's calming down. He is going to be calming things down and making his racks back at home. And we have a game on our hands. We can actually get into a more stable opener and get into the mid game. Now, with a 14-14 from Eric, this should, obviously it leads into a delayed gas. This should lead into a roach opener. And we'll see how hard Eric commits. We've seen Eric hard commit to roaches or go into like 2 roaches just for a little bit of map presence and then just drone up behind it. There are options. There are options available here for Eric. What does he go for? As for now, he is actually delaying his gas by quite a bit. We have 6 Lings on the way, Queens as well. Very safe play here out of Eric, just in case his opponent were cheesing. Behind this, it's a 2-racks opener. Interesting. So this can be the beginning of a 2-on-1, or this could lead into a 4-racks. I don't know if I've seen Homeowner 4-racks before, but I wouldn't put it past him. 4-racksing is a thing that Terran players, Bjorn has been very fond of. Reaper's going to be moving out. Barely does see the Lings, but it looks like Homeowner may not have. As he heads into the natural, going straight for the drones. So far, good reaction out of Eric. He does pull back, but he wants that worker. He wants the drone. Oof. Barely morphed in. Meanwhile, behind this, it is not a 4-racks. That is a factory, so it's a 2-on-1. 2-on-1 opener here from Homeowner. Lings, they do arrive. They delay the CC on the low ground. Ooh, a pretty big delay, actually. Reaper is racing back home. We should be able to save this. This shouldn't be a cancel, but a lot of damage is being done. And boys are being pulled. They have to be. Oh my god. And with this, we're going to get a couple of SCV kills. 2 SCVs go down. Marines have been revealed. Lanes get cleaned up. We do not scout the main. Eric, that's actually a little bit important. That's pretty important, actually. He saw Marines coming out, which is a bit of a tell. He should have seen a Hellion by now, as he is going into 2-base lair. Let's go. Lair's on the way. There's that Roach one that we were talking about. We are skipping Link speed, so we're going into Roach play. Roaches can defend against 2-on-1s. This is true. We can have enough of them to deflect the army, but it's going to be close. And again, this relies on Eric. Make sure he doesn't over-drone. If he makes too many workers, he may just die. Reaper comes in, scouts the lair, dips out, doesn't see how many gases. For all he knows, for all Homo knows, it could be 2-base muter again. Could be muter play. Homono doesn't have all the information he needs. Behind this, starport's on the way. We should be seeing an add-on swap between the factory and the starport to go into medevac production. We're going to be going for a 16 Marine medevac drop. Double medevac drop. It's going to hit hard. Especially with the delayed CC. Homeowner, he's going for 2-base play. A very late third. We should be throwing it down momentarily, but it's delayed nonetheless. In favor of this timing. Ooh, Eric going straight for the infestation, but greedy move here from Eric. Going for Burrow as well. Interesting choice. Overseer's on the way. But the push should be coming. We're just waiting for those medevacs to move out. Which means this Overseer should recognize what's happening in time. We're dipping on in. There we go. We have the changeling towards the natural. We see all the Marines. We see the tech lab on the factory. We know that Hellions have not been made and that a 2-on-1 is coming. We're going 2-base swarm host. Oh god, this is so wild. Okay, not the first time we've seen this. If you were here for the interview that we had for Eric a couple of months ago, I think in June or July, Eric did say that he doesn't like 2-base muta. He prefers 2-base swarm host against Terran. That's why he got burrowed. To burrow those swarm hosts and to be as annoying as possible with those locust waves. But here comes that double drop. We only have 3 roaches. We've been a little bit too greedy. We should have recognized the 2-on-1, by the way. The drops are here. We need an army. We need roaches and we don't have enough. Boys are being pulled. Queens are coming in. Here come the medevacs and I don't know if we can hold. Yeah, we have to pull the boys. Drones will die. But they have to for the cause. As we will barely force this back. 2 drones go down. 3, 4, 5. 6 drone kills. Pretty good damage. The medevac, no shot. Oh my god, it barely escapes. At the same time, the Lucas Wave takes down the eBay. Oh my god. Eric. He takes down the eBay with the Locust Wave. Yeah. And because it's a 2-base opener, there is no 3rd CC, not yet, so we have limited scans. And I love this. This is what Eric does. He goes for the Locust Wave, then he splits up his swarm hosts, making sure that we need 1 scan each. Fun fact, this does make it worth it. These locusts, these swarm hosts, they do pay for themselves by forcing 1 scan for each of these swarm hosts, alongside the damage that was just done, alongside the dead eBay. It's only 4 swarm hosts. From here, we go into Roach Infestor. Locust waves are moving out towards the mineral line. Tank is going to force some friendly fire. We got 3 SCVs. And we can see another Locust Wave heading towards the 3rd. Sensor towers are on the way. Do we have a scan? We should. Oh, the single roach. Locust Wave is coming in. It's only 2 locusts, but they're going to be able to kill a couple of SCVs. They get 1. They get 2. They get a mule. Oh my god. Behind this, Eric has been droning. He's a little bit supply blocked, working on link speed. There's the scan. We get 1 swarm host. We're going to need 3 more scans. Infestors are coming out. 1-1 restarted here for the Terran. Comes another Locust Wave, once again going for the turret. He could even go straight for the tank, to be honest. He thinks about it. Does get 2 SCVs. Scan does not catch it. Second scan has to be used. Here comes another Locust Wave. Marines this time are in position. Forcing out a scan. Now here comes the drop play here of Honono. Doom dropping towards the main. That's a lot of Marines. And Eric, I think he did just miss it. He does have Overlords in position. Medevacs have been spotted. And they're boosting right into the main base. Spores are in position. Homono, he is deflected. Pulling speed and batting akin. Bailing speed as well. Homono being very careful with this army. Doesn't want to get caught out. There are 2 infestors looking for fungals. Drop is coming on the right-hand side. These infestors are exposed. Oh no! Oh my god. Oh, he's going for them. He wants them. Infestors, they are going to get picked off. They do land 1 fungal. Here comes the rest of the army at the same time. Drop into the natural. 1 infestor did go down. 3 more infestors on the way. Homono having a great time here, just dropping between the natural and the 4th. Trying to pull Eric apart. But Eric, he keeps up. Is able to keep up, is able to shut him down. 3 CC up and running, 4 CC on the way. The miles! Oh my god. Homono, be careful. Ten cuidado, papi. As he's getting his 4th CC up and running. Meanwhile, the Hive is done. We're getting to Viper's Ultra Cavern as well. Eric, let's go. Here we go. We do end up scanning the last remaining Swarm Host. I believe every Swarm Host has now gone down. But Eric can focus on his main army. Likewise, so can Homono. He's going for a bio composition. Very Marauder heavy, actually, which means these Ultras are going to have a hard time. Especially pushing up these choke points. Eric, he wants Homono to expose himself. Wants him to push out. Kindness plating on the way. Eric waiting to receive. Looking for a big fungal. He wants it. Oh god. The infestors! No! They rally in! 1 infestor goes down. At the same time, though, a big Link counterattack here does hit the 3rd. And there's not much here to defend. The wall has been broken. Homono, he is gaining ground. We do deny +2. But Homono, he's breaking through. The Ultras, they have arrived. Kindness plating isn't done. The Vipers, they throw down a couple of blinding clouds. It looks like Eric, he does deflect this army. At the same time, he gets into the natural base. He eviscerates the economy. 12 workers go down. It's just too much. Eric snowballs out of control. He shuts down the army and he shuts down the economy. GG. Eric takes the series 3-2. GG, well played. Eric will be this week's the final Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion of 2023. GG, well played. Oh my god, that went the distance. That went all the way to the ace match. We had a pretty rowdy finals as well. Homono going for a proxy 3 racks 3 games in a row. That was insane. To be that aggressive, to be that in the face of Eric. Then eventually Eric did shut it down. And here in the ace matches, when things were a little bit more back and forth, we got a much more stable game, stable opener. I mean, I say that, Eric did whip out, for the first time in a long time, his patented 2-base Swarm Host, where it's only 4 Swarm Hosts he invests into Burrow. He only has them to harass a little bit, then he goes into Roach, Ravager, Infestor. Eric's done that before. He almost beat Gumiho with that a couple of months ago, and whipped it out again. That was beautiful. GG, well played. Let's go. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Eric. Congratulations to Honmono as well for advancing on to the grand finals. And of course, both players will be walking away with some of that prize money. Both players will be making some bank. Beautiful. And yeah, on top of that, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. You know, this is a tournament that we've been struggling to host, I'll be honest. There hasn't been too much interest when it comes to the player base, but I have a lot of love for the players that do rock up here day after day. Sorry, not day after day, week after week. Players like Honmono, Eric, Trigger, Nice, Miyomaika, Demi, Eon, Reaper. Like, yeah, they've been rocking up here and they've been representing and competing. Again, not the highest turnout, but a solid turnout nonetheless. So much appreciated. Much appreciated. We do what we can. We do what we can. The goal here of this tournament series is to help support, you know, some of the smaller regions out there. This is a region-locked event. Region-locked to Latin America, North America, Oceania, and Southeast Asia, and China as well. So it's region-locked to these, again, smaller regions, and we're doing what we can. Basically like our version of KSL. KSL supports Korea, we support everything else. And that's why if you're interested, you can support us on Patreon or support the tournaments on Patreon. We have we're very transparent with where all the money goes and how it's split up, and where we want the money to go as well, and how we want to grow our tournaments. So if you're interested, Patreon is the place to be. Otherwise, we also have other tournaments that are on the horizon. Next weekend is going to be Grand Platypus Open and Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is going to be coming up next. Let me just double check our calendar just to be sure. And yeah, this coming weekend, sorry, Sparkling Tuna Cup, the last Sparkling Tuna Cup of the year is going to be the 17th. And for those wondering, STC, the Tuna Cup, if you will, that's our open tournament. Despite what region you're from, Korea, Europe, America, Southeast Asia, Sparkling Tuna Cup is open to all players. Grand Platypus Open, as you can imagine, is region locked to the Oceanic region. Oceania, Southeast Asia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, rest of Asia. All of that is for GPO. I believe our final GPO is going to be on the 30th. So, second last day of the year is going to be GPO. Sparkling Tuna Cup is going to be on the 17th, so halfway through December. So, yeah, we still have a couple of tournaments on the horizon. Again, this weekend is IEM qualifiers. Next weekend is DreamHack Atlanta. A lot of StarCraft on the way, and we're trying our best to squeeze in as much as we can, and of course cast on a daily basis. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. If you do wish to tune into some more CranKy Duckling action, exclamation mark YouTube in the chat. You can check out our YouTube channel. Over on YouTube, we do upload on a daily basis. I'll post all the links in the chat, all the commands. We do upload on a daily basis, so our YouTube has plenty of content there if you are unsatiated. When it comes to our next broadcast, it's going to be tonight. Let's do the math. What is the math looking like? Okay, so our next broadcast is in 9 hours. In 9 hours time, 9 hours and 20 minutes, we're going to be live on this channel once again with a show match. It's going to be a very special event. It's the Kashim friendly show matches. It's going to be a best of 5 between Future and Strange, and a best of 5 between Future and Chan. So some NA versus Europe and some NA versus Latin American action there. So we got you covered with some show matches in 9 hours. I believe it's going to be at the same time as Home Story Cup, so unfortunately there's going to be a little bit of overlap there, but some good matches nonetheless. And of course you can always just open up a bunch of tabs, open up a bunch of windows, and watch everything all at once. We got you covered. So yeah, we got some future show matches in 9 hours, and then tomorrow is ESL Open Cup Asia, ESL Open Cup Americas, Kung Fu Cup, and yeah, so much more, and of course the IEM qualifiers, which we will be covering in the coming days. So yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. I'm gonna be getting some sleep. I think I slept like four hours today. I'm gonna be going to bed and hopefully waking up in time for our next broadcast. So yeah, that's all we have in store for you here on the CranKy Ducklings. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to Colossal Gulp for the raid. Big raid here from Colossal Gulp. Gracias, papi. El Kalasi. Thank you. Thank you for the raid. Hope you had a great time. And yeah, we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid ourselves. Not too sure who. I'm still trying to figure that out. I know that Asher is laddering, but I don't know how long he's going to ladder for. I don't know how long he's going to be around. Because I think he may have just ended. No, he's still laddering. We could raid Eon. We've been raiding Eon a lot, actually. Giving him a lot of raids. Who else is live right now? We'll find someone. Give them a chance. Give them some support. Give them an opportunity. And we'll see you guys in 9 hours for some more StarCraft action. Until then, hasta luego. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Hasta luego.